What's going on, everybody? We got a table of beautiful ladies. Let's fucking go. What's on, everybody? Welcome to the number one show in the world for today, Purple Pod, episode 42. Please make sure to like the video on your way and subscribe. Go follow the Clips channel, Purple Pill Pod Clips. Follow us on our podcast Instagram as well. We're now live to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube, all at the same time. Go sign up for my new coaching as well. I got linked below if you want my personal help in dating if you're a man. Our new Patreon is just made if you want to go show some support there, or you can hit the join button on the YouTube under the YouTube video right now if you want to show some support and become a YouTube member. Also, some new shirts are out if you want to check out the merch store. We're now streaming on all audio platforms as well, guys. Make sure to add the Instagram right now, though, if you want to add any of these pretty ladies. I got them all tagged right now on my story. Shout out to my producer tonight. We got Donnie in the house. JR will be here on Friday, it looks like he just said. And yeah, shout out to Cornerstone Events for helping us out with the recruiting, man. I really appreciate all y'all. And yeah, now let's go ahead and get started. We got some really beautiful ladies in the house tonight. We'll start just first with y'all's name, your age, your education level, what you do for work. Let's go to this side. Yeah, you nervous?
No. My name's Katie. I'm 24. Education level, some college. Got bored. I model full time, travel model, so I travel all over the place modeling.
Okay. That's really dope, actually. What about you? What's your name, your age, your education level, what you do for work?
My name is Stormy. I'm 22 years old. I am a makeup artist, and I am currently in real estate school to get my sales license.
Oh, that's dope. Mm-hmm. I gotta ask because you just look so short. How tall are you?
I'm 4'11".
You're 4'11"?
Yeah.
Jesus. What's your name, your age, your education level, what you do for work?
My name is Destiny. I'm 28 years old. I graduated high school, and then I'm a dancer, an exotic dancer.
Exotic dancer?
She belongs to the streets.
Okay.
Hey. If for the Dallas people, would you want to tell them where you dance at to make money off them, or no? Keep it secret, low key. Y'all wish. Maybe if you say right things on the Instagram, she'll let you come simp for her. But yeah, what's yours? What's your name, your age, your education level?
My name is Jasmine. I'm 19 years old. I graduated high school, and I am a nail tech.
A nail tech?
Yes.
Okay. Did you just start doing nails, like as soon as you got out of high school?
Kind of. I did work for a little bit, and then eventually start getting into doing nails because I had that like as a full-time job, and then eventually got let off from that. Started doing nails.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for 3 years, so.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, since you were young. Well, what's up, everybody? That's up in the chat. Savage, Ombre, what's up, everybody? J Bow Wow, what's up, y'all? So to start off, I want to kind of just know how everybody was kind of raised for this group, just to see like where we're all on the same page or where we're different. Who was raised in a two-parent household or a single-parent household?
Two-parent.
Two-parent?
Single,
but they were both in my life.
Single, but both in your life?
I had both of my parents in my life, but then eventually they got divorced, so I want to say a little bit of both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah.
Okay. And for the ones that were single-parent household, did you live with the mom primarily or the dad?
It was basically whenever I wanted to go with either parent. So.
When you wanted to go with either one? What about you?
It was the mom primarily.
Primarily. What about you?
Well, I lived with both of my parents, and then now I live with my mom.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know though, do y'all think that a man raised in a single mother household, do you think it affects how he treats women that he's with in the future? We'll start with you on this one. A guy raised in a single mother household, do you think it's going to affect the women that he talks to in the future?
I want to say that he might respect women a little bit more, but due to the lack of him, like his father not being in his life, I would assume that like that would also kind of like affect certain
masculinity,
maybe when it comes to like dating, but like just like viewing women, I think he would definitely respect her more. Dating wise,
he might get walked over a little bit. What about you? What do you think about that guy raised by a single mother?
I agree with what she said, but I would also say, depending on how the mother is, like if his mom is like an ain't shit up, if she
it's fine.
was like a not good mother, then he might grow up to resent females.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, yeah, it just depends how good she is. Yeah, your environment's your destiny. What about you? Do you think that a guy raised by a single mother, you think it's gonna affect him?
Going off what she said, I really don't think I really just think it depends on how the parent raised them. Like I have brothers. They only grew up with my mom in their life, and they came out great. They respect women. But I do feel like the lack of a man being around does, have certain. It makes them lack certain qualities that men should have. But overall, I don't think it makes a big difference.
How many brothers do you have?
I have two older brothers.
2 older brothers?
Mhm.
Okay. How much older are they from you?
My oldest brother is 18 years older than me. He's just turned 40 today, and the other one is 32.
Are they both married?
The oldest one was married. He's divorced now, but they're both in relationships.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just curious. I love to know where people come from. What about you? So the guy that's raised, by a single mother, do you think that's going to affect his relationships with women in the future?
Yes, sorry. So kind of going off what she said again, I think it depends on who your mother was as a person and how she raised you ultimately. Or if you're just raised by your dad, then you probably didn't get as much nourishment, like physical nourishment, because your mother wasn't there, because the mother is typically the nourishing one to the baby. And a father is typically a little bit more harsher, but it just depends. If a mother has to do both roles, then it really can go either way. I have some friends that are single mothers and some friends that are married with kids, and your kids can still turn out not being the best people even with a 2-parent household.
Yeah, it can go both ways.
Yeah, so I think it just kind of depends, but it definitely has an effect of some sort for sure.
Statistics speak so badly against single mother households. Actually, if we really look at the stats, a single father household, the kids come out to, as far as like prison rates, or incarceration rates. I'm trying to think some of the other things that they sex work. There's like certain things that they always categorize it based off, and like a single father household is the exact same as just a 2-parent household, whereas like a single mother household is statistically shows way worse usually. I gotta ask, have any of y'all dated a guy that was raised in a single mother household and it really made a fucking difference in the relationship? We'll start with you.
Personally, I haven't.
Okay.
I've only been in 2 relationships, and both of them had both parents. One of them had both. The other one had a stepdad and his real mom, but not.
That's actually really good. That means that like you didn't, like, he probably wasn't damaged, so he didn't come and like fuck you up with his bullshit of his life. Oh, maybe he was still fucked up. What about you?
Actually, I actually deal with someone who he had both parents, but then like later on when he got to high school, they separated. So he was with his dad a lot. But we actually touched on a topic one night, and he was saying how his mother didn't really just give him affection. Like she wasn't a hugger or anything like that to this
So
day.
weird.
And he's like 33 years old. So I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense
I
now.
bet that would mess somebody up pretty bad.
Yeah, so
a mom not being affectionate.
That's just okay. Now I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
What about you? Have you been with a guy that was like that you think had trouble from a single mother household?
I really honestly haven't dated a lot of guys. I've only dated one, but he grew up with both his parents in his life.
Did you how old were you again?
Like when we dated?
No, just how old are you right now?
22.
22. Yeah, so only been one relationship, only been two. Like the younger girls haven't really been in a lot of relationships. That's why I was trying to determine. What about you? Have you been with a guy that's had like that issue from a single mother household?
Yes. So if I remember correctly, this was whenever I was younger, a lot younger. Let's see, his mom and dad got divorced, and then a few years later, he was primarily with his mom, but a few years later she got remarried. But he has a lot of issues to this day. You can read all about him in my book called The Truth, Little Shakespeare Tragedies. He was my first abuser. He was a terrible, terrible person. So, but I've also known guys that were in a single parent household, and they are not that person at all. They have a really high respect for women. That's why I say I think it really depends.
Yeah, you really like to go back to this is something that's really common on the show. Like we got to look at both sides. It's called blank slating.
Yeah.
Or like we have to constantly look at both sides. In conversations or like when we look at statistics stuff, sometimes you got to accept that for a majority of the time it is sometimes a certain way. Or like we've lined up 100 people, 90 of them would do certain things, like we can always look at the exception of the rules, but just to like so you understand the show a lot, I'll talk a lot about evolutionary biology, and a lot of evolutionary biology that we talk about is we don't really like talking about the exception of the rule. We like talking about the majority, especially because it's a podcast, so we have to talk to the majority, give advice for the majority of people in the world. It's not always good to sit there and pigeonhole and talk about the exceptions, because that's the exception of the rule, but no, thank you. Also, guys, I gotta let y'all know, the Matrix is really fucking attacking me this time. Like, not even kidding, guys. The YouTube is the algorithm is trying to kick me out really hard right now. So if y'all want this channel to grow, or if we want to get a bunch of people in here, y'all got to share this to everybody you fucking know right now. And we got to start making this a big deal, because if we don't make this a big deal, then I'm not going to be able to do this show that much longer. I'm going to have to go and travel and go do shows all over the place. And we're not going to be able to do this one because they're fucking killing our channel right now. So please, everybody share this shit around. We got to like push back, because I always tell y'all this. I tell y'all the real fucking red pill. They don't tell y'all this shit on the other channels, the shit that I tell y'all about relationships, because if they did, they would lose all their fucking money, guys. All of it. YouTube makes so much money off of splitting y'all up and making the men hate the women and the women hate the men, that if I fucking blew up, I would fuck up all their fucking money. So go and share this fucking shit as much as you can, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to fuck YouTube in the ass, which I really want to do. So yeah, fuck you, YouTube. Just FYI.
Fatality.
Yeah, I know y'all told me not to fucking cuss anymore, but fuck you. Like, it really bothers me. I'll go to Facebook. But no, I want to go into another part, like a second part of that same question. Does a woman raised by a single mother household affect how she treats men that she's with, you think?
Yes, I think it does.
Do you have any friends like that?
No, but I'm trying to put it in perspective of my life, and this is gonna sound so bad because I'm like, I don't want to talk shit about my mom, but now that I'm like living with my mom by myself, not by myself, but like I was used to living with both my parents, and now that I primarily live with my mom, I've gotten to see, how she is just a little bit deeper, and I'm still young, so like I'm very much like evaluating everything that she does to kind of like learn from it. And I will say, like, her toxic habits that she has definitely tried to like influence me on certain
Seep
things.
into you?
Yes, I'm trying to like avoid it and see past it, but it has become very hard. And I've noticed that from her experience with like my dad and like her past, the things that she's told me and the way that she's kind of told me them definitely affected me at one point in my life. And I will admit that, like, even though it's still primarily my fault at the end of the day for like choosing those people that I was dating, I still feel like a part of it had a lot to do with the way that my mom kind of also taught me those things, you know what I mean? Or she just necessarily didn't teach me, but like they definitely rubbed off for me being with her all the time. So I definitely think it does.
Yeah, you can try to escape like what you're raised in and stuff, but your environment's your destiny. Like if you experience something all the fucking time, that shit,
especially if like
bleeds into you.
If you're living with, let's say you have a mom that's constantly having dudes in and out, like I would say that like in the long run you would probably be doing the same, or unless you obviously would see past it.
Well, like it's what's normal to you. Like I always talk about on this show, like I have two really, like my parents divorced when I was like 5, 6, but after the divorce they kind of both remarried really fast, and they were very both solid, strong, like wealthy, like just financially, just everything really fucking perfect. As far as like by the book perfect families, both of them did everything perfectly. And it's just like whenever I talk to other people that were raised in different things, it's like, well, I can't even fucking relate, because like I saw it perfectly like this. So I'm shooting for this perfection that I saw my whole life. And what all these other people are doing, it's like, I'm so fucking confused. I don't understand all this shit. Like all this sleeping around stuff. I've never seen it. It's just weird to me, What about you? Would you say that a woman raised by a single mother household, do you think it's going to affect the way that she treats men?
My situation is a little more complicated. Like, I was raised by my grandparents a lot of the time, essentially, because my mom, due to tribulations that was going on. So my grandparents were together, but then I do like remember seeing them like separate and get a divorce. It was kind of ugly. But as far as like my mother, like not having her around to like all the time, like everybody else would have their mothers around. So you kind of like, to this day, I figured like dealing with people, that's why I'm so emotionally checked out. Like it's like just like a thick wall. So
yeah,
it does have something to do with.
Yeah, but like, do you think that's something that you're gonna be able to like fix at some point, or like drop it, or do you think that that's always gonna be there? Like, you're always gonna have that wall up?
I don't know. I'm only 28, so maybe when I grow into more of like, I'm still growing up. When I become more of a woman,
Yeah, and you're not always gonna work in the industry too. So like, I feel
exactly.
like when you get a different job, you'll have a
That's
whole
another
different
reason.
mindset, a whole different mindset. Because yeah, it all like your jobs and like what you do, where you work, like that truly affects what you want. Like everything in your life. Because once again, your environment's your destiny. What about you? Does a woman raised in a single mother household, do you think it's gonna affect how she treats men?
Definitely. Um, well, my mom, like when I was younger, my mom was married to my stepdad for about 10 years, but once I got into my teenage years, that's when she became a single parent altogether. But the household was extremely toxic. Like every day, damn near, it was an argument. I didn't even get along with my stepdad. Like it was very toxic. So like seeing a relationship like that, it definitely like kind of like
Normalized it, maybe.
yeah, it normalized it. So like when I got older and I was dealing with the guy that I was dealing with, it kind of like I kind of held back a lot because I didn't really know how to truly interact with him properly. Like cuz I knew the way what I seen growing up wasn't right, but I didn't know what was right cuz I didn't have an
Yeah.
example of it. So it's like I couldn't give him what he really needed because I didn't know. So yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
definitely
a good point. Yeah, if you've
mhm.
never seen it, if you never experienced it, that's why I was saying like it looks so weird when I see people do certain things because to me I only experienced this. Like,
Right.
it's so hard for us to look outside of that. If you really think about it sometimes, like determinism is like something that means that everything happens for a reason. It's like
Mhm.
shit. Sometimes the environment kind of pigeonholes you and makes things happen for a reason because this is your life. Like if you were born in India, you'd be a Hindu. You wouldn't be a Christian. What about you? What do you think about the women that are raised in single mother households?
Kind of going off of what you just said, like if you don't have that example of a male figure and what that looks like, I think you're more susceptible to falling into those toxic relationships because you just don't know. You don't have that example there. Like if you don't have, even if you did have a father there that wasn't great, it would be the same thing. Like you don't have that masculine energy in your life to show you what that's supposed to look like
Mm.
or possibly even look like. And again, going back to like having to have a mother that does everything, I think a lot of women already have tough relationships with their mother, and that would only make it worse. Because, like you were talking about picking up bad habits from your mom, like you're not even going to realize it over the years. I sit back and sometimes, even recently, I'm like, oh, I sound just like my mom right now, and it's bad. And I have to kind of retrain myself now that I've distanced myself from them, become an adult, and being able to make my own decisions and kind of retraining myself as to what I really want and who I want to be. I feel like that could make that a little bit harder just because you don't have that other figure there to show
Yeah.
you right, wrong, or any sort of example whatsoever.
The example, yeah. So now I kind of want to know. I won't go into that actually. Well, yeah, no. So since we're kind of talking about on that subject, would y'all be willing to like a guy that's in your life, a brother, a uncle, a father? Are y'all willing to ask those guys to help y'all out? So then like kind of help you pick a guy because y'all don't know. Or there's some women that have a hard time knowing what a good guy looks like. Do you think that we should be going to our brothers, our cousins, our uncles, our fathers, and asking them more for this type of help instead of just kind of going solo and just doing it yourself? We'll start with you on this one.
Absolutely. So I actually grew up in a violent household. So whenever I was younger, I wasn't able to go to my parents and I didn't, but I was able to go, at the time I didn't realize I was able to go to my aunt and uncle and speak with them. But I always knew that I didn't want the dynamic that my parents had, which was yelling, screaming, me mopping up blood off the floor in the middle of the night, sweeping up glass, things like that. So I knew that that wasn't what I want. I couldn't speak with them, but as I got older, I did find people that I could go to safely and talk to and help me because I was in that environment. I was a product of that environment. And so that's what I was comfortable with. That's all that I knew. So I actually have been in three very abusive and violent relationships, and have been able to break that cycle by going to other people and asking those questions, especially other men that I trusted and relationships with. So like one of my sisters and her husband, going to her and him and talking to them. I think it's really important. If you really don't know what a healthy relationship looks like, definitely go ask other people.
Did you go to therapy?
I did. Yeah, I went to therapy for a few years.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is something that we preach a lot. Like, you got to go to therapy if you're a woman that's gone through trauma, because there's nothing that's going to fix it unless you talk about it. And it's really hard to talk about those type of things, like take accountability and just see that, like, you can't pick men that are fucking shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
you have to learn to break the cycle. And men too, there are a lot of men that have, whether it's single mother household that wasn't good, household, whatever they went through, men that have gone through abuse, neglect, or been, SH, all those things. Also, it's really good for all of us to let those things out of our system and be able to move on and become greater people.
Well, one big thing, this is something I got to bring up though. So women emote. Like, y'all emote by like being able to like talk about things and let things out that way and have a conversation. Men emote a little bit differently. That's why guys go to the gym when they're depressed, or like it releases those endorphins that like get you, out of that depression. A lot of guys, they want to talk to their homeboys if it's like a problem that can be solved, because it's something that another man should be able to help you solve the issue if it's a problem, money issue or anything like that. So like guys, we really like to encourage them. Like, don't get me wrong, I went to therapy for a year, but I had an amazing guy therapist, and there's not a lot of guy therapists today. It's really hard to find them. But a big thing that guys got to do is they got to go. Guys emote a different way. Like, we emote by going and doing things. Like, I play paintball, so it's like back in the day when I was sad or depressed, it's like, all right, well, this weekend we're going to fucking play. Like, I gotta go shoot some people. It's just like there's like different ways of getting it out. But women gotta talk about it. Y'all gotta talk about it.
Find the release that works for you, whatever that is.
Well, it's just dangerous, because what's happened a lot today, with the left and with the woke movement and everything, it's like, guys, y'all gotta be more emotional. Y'all gotta fucking express yourselves like this. Y'all gotta do this. We gotta stop talking to men like men or women. We blank slate all these things. Like, we try to think that everything in life, men and women are exactly the same, and it's just not true. We can look at evolutionary biology and see that we're very different about some things sexually, about some things mentally, all of it.
Absolutely.
And so like it's really a big deal right now that we need to start telling men, stop being emotional. That's not something that you were ingrained to be, and that's how we can stop these suicide rates that are going crazy. I used to be one of those emotional guys. I had that mother telling me to be emotional. It's not something that guys need to be taught. Like, it put me in a really bad spot because of it. So I agree with you though, for almost everything else.
Finding a way to just get it out in general.
Yeah, definitely. For you, wait, what was my question again? I can't remember. I asked, would you ask a guy, like a uncle, brother, or anything like that? Would you?
Yeah, definitely. Me and my older brother, we talk a lot about relationship related things. He's actually like, when I date and look for a guy, I look for a guy who has similar qualities as him, because I feel like he's the perfect guy.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good. What about you? Would you ask one of the guys in your life to help you out?
I'm hard-headed, so probably not. And I like to keep my business. But I have two older brothers, so they have stepped into my life and said, like, this is not the right guy.
But you just tell them, like, it's not your fucking business.
I don't care. But I would go to my two older brothers eventually.
Yeah. What about you?
I would, because I did that with my dad. Thankfully, I will say, like, most, if not everything that I've learned just about dating or just relationships in general has been through my dad, because he's very good at like showing me both perspectives from women and from men. Like, he would talk to me about things which to a certain extent was okay, because I was really young when my parents were going through the divorce, so certain things were things that I didn't really need to know about. But I'm kind of glad now that he did bring them up, because at a young age I was able to kind of understand like like the different dynamics of like relationships and stuff. So I definitely would, because I did that with my dad, and it definitely helped a lot, and I still do to this day, especially now that like I have certain things going on with my mom. I'll go and talk to him about it, and obviously he knows my mom like really well.
He'll be able to give perfect advice.
Right. I mean, I will admit, like, in general, I feel like anybody could give you advice, but until you're ready to really take it in is when you're actually gonna.
Yeah, you can take a horse water, but you can leave a horse water. You can't make him drink every time.
But definitely, for sure, I would. And I still do. So.
Okay, no, that's good. Now I'm just kind of curious, who wants a relationship? Like, who's really at this table that y'all want a good relationship? I know a couple people are kind of already in relationships. You're in a relationship, right? Already?
Yes.
Yes. Are you in a relationship?
I'm not.
You're not? Are you? You're kind of in something? Situationships? No, you're single.
No.
No, she's like more single. Okay, but are you single?
Yeah,
yes.
single.
Okay, so do you want a relationship? Like, do you want like something serious right now, or are you putting it off till 25 or something?
To answer your question, right now in this very moment, I would say no. I'm not saying I'm not open to the idea of it, because if for whatever reason I were to meet a person, I'd just vibe and everything would go great. Like, who wouldn't? But just because of how old I am, and I've already been into relationships at such a young age too. They both lasted almost 3 years. So I will say, like, I've been in a relationship for, I want to say, like 6 years, pretty much like back to back. And I've learned a lot from it, and I just kind of want to sit back right now and just like take it all in.
Especially since you were since a young girl. Yeah, you were 13, I guess, then for the first one.
Yeah, I was a freshman.
Yeah.
I was a freshman. My first relationship went from freshman year to like early junior year, and then waited like 2 months. And then I got into that relationship. That lasted up until
Monkey
like,
branch went straight to another one.
Well, I'm not even gonna get into that, but I had already met him from school or whatever. I mean, I will say at least I stayed with him.
Oh yeah, no, like no, it's fine. I think it's better if you. I think it's better for a woman to be in serious relationships than go through a hoe phase. That's just me
Right.
personally. I mean, just me personally. I think it's better to like keep your count down. But that's also toxic because there's some women that will like keep going back to like Chad Thundercock because she doesn't want to make her fucking body count go higher, and like he's just a toxic asshole that uses her for pussy, you know. So there's like two sides of that one, you know.
So yeah, at the moment, no, I'm not really trying to find a relationship right now, but maybe hopefully in a couple of years.
If it came up.
Happens,
What about you? Are you actually looking, like, would you look for a serious relationship right now or not really?
Not right now. Like maybe in a couple of years.
Maybe when you
But
like
no.
but even a couple years at your current job too? Or would you want to wait till you have a whole new career to like kind of start taking?
A whole new career, because given what I do, I was going to get into that.
They're
given
so
what
insecure,
I do,
yeah.
A relationship, yeah, men are insecure, and it sometimes will stop my money. So.
Yeah, it's not worth it. What about you?
I'm honestly like in a very weird phase right now. Like I have so much going on. Like I'm always busy. So at a point I feel like I don't have time, but I do desire someone to come home to. So it's kind of like yes and no. Like if he can fit into my schedule, and then yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I am very much like, I don't know, I think I romanticize relationships way too much, honestly. So I've always wanted that dream relationship. Like my grandparents met whenever they were 13, got married at 19, and were together for like 64 years. So that's what I always like looked up to and what I've always tried to find. That is not how my first marriage went. Went ahead and checked him off already. But yeah, I mean, I'm a relationship girl. That's what I want. I don't like having to date around. The dating pool is always stressful.
It's shit kind of right now,
Yeah,
huh? That was my next
exactly.
question. Kind of, I want to know like the percentage of guys that you think are good relationship material guys. Like, I'm not gonna say that they have a lot of money or they're fucking attractive or any of these things. We're just gonna say like a guy that's a good boyfriend that like won't cheat on you. I guess if that's something that like you really care about. How many guys do you think are good relationship material right now?
I want to say I've only met like one or two that I could see myself dating, but even then, like, for example, I was talking to someone and like everything was going great, and then things got I would say like we hit a bump in the road, and then like it went to complete crap. So I was like, see, like picture perfect, but then when stuff gets really hard, that's when you really see their true colors come out, and that's when I'm like, okay, never mind.
Okay. What about you?
There'll be times where like I'll try to take a man serious just to see where he'll go with me, but it'll get to a point where like you want to know what I do, because I don't just dance. I have other things that I do. So I'll just say like I do this, and then once it comes down to it, okay, well this is what I really do, and then like, I don't know.
So how many like good guys are there, you think, though? Like do you think there's a lot of good guys out here that like that are dateable, that are like good boyfriends? Well, I mean, you're at the strip club, so it's really hard for you to judge because you see a lot of really shitty selection. Yeah, so it's probably like 1 in a million to you because you just see so many shitty guys all the time.
And then this generation doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Like this generation, their new mindset and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But give me a percentage though. Like how many good men do you think? Like 10% of guys are worth it, 5% of guys, 1% of guys?
I want to say like
I want to know how impossible. 10%?
I want to say like a good 10% would probably be good.
Okay.
I'll say 10.
10? What do you think?
10. Yeah.
10? What do you think?
I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic and say it's 50-50.
It's 50-50, you think?
Because very much a guy can change based off of the girl that he's with.
True.
And a woman can as well. You know, it can take that one person to turn you
If it's
into
the right person that respects them or loves them the right way, maybe they'll be like a better relationship person.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think
could,
it's
I could,
possible.
I could maybe see that. One big thing I preach on this show is I think 90% people ain't shit. I just think on both sides, like I think men and women, like most people are broke or just like you gotta understand a guy being broke, it really emasculates him. Like that's something that we're always supposed to be providers. We're always supposed to like be leaders. Like y'all want a guy that's taller, faster, stronger, a leader. Like that's what women want. So if guys aren't that anymore, which most guys aren't right now, if we look at major cities, women out earn men. If we look at college graduates, women are out graduating men right now. So yeah, if we really look at everything, women are fucking killing men right now. And what's really scary about it is there's something called hypergamy. And the way hypergamy works, that means that women like to date across and up social hierarchies. So y'all don't want to date a guy. If y'all are making $50,000 a year, y'all want a guy that makes $75,000 a year. If you're dating a guy, or if you make $100,000 a year, you want a guy that makes $150,000 a year. Y'all like a guy that makes 53% more than you. And that's how you're, like we were talking about earlier, you're hardwired this way, and it's because you need to be able to take care of a baby if anything bad ever happened. You have to take care of yourself and that child, so you're hardwired to look for that extra 53%. It's just what you're meant to do. And there's nothing, brokey. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. It just sucks because the more successful the women become, the more y'all's bracket of men shrink. And then this is a great time to bring up our cards. Donnie, why don't you go ahead and bring up what these ladies said that they liked for height and guys. Guys, we had them write down before the show on a card age, height, income, stuff like if he goes to the gym. So then nobody could copy each other like we always have on the show. Because usually like one girl will say like one thing and the other everybody copies each other. So now let's go ahead and I want to know what income were they looking for since we were talking about hypergamy.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and call it out from starting at Katie. So Katie, the height was her height or taller. Then we got Stormy at 5'6" to 5'9".
Okay.
And then we have Destiny. Is it Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay, Destiny was 6 foot plus.
Okay.
And then lastly, we got Jasmine is would like to be over 5'9".
Like to be over 5'9". So a couple of y'all were looking for average, which is really good. You already got a man, so you gotta worry about it. How old is he though? Or I'm not older. What's his height, just so we know?
Specifically, I don't know. Definitely over 6 foot.
Over 6 foot though? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, since y'all are kind of looking for average, y'all are in a really good spot because there's tons of average guys out there and average height. Sadly, a lot of women want 6 feet usually, and there's only 14% of guys that are 6 feet tall. And then once you cut that in half, because half of them are married, you're kind of screwed. But what were you gonna say?
I said I will say, like, I come from a very tall family. Like, my brother is 6'2" or 6'3", my dad's like 6'3", 6'4".
So you want tall?
So like, well, like I would prefer it, but as long as you're just taller than me, honestly. Well, like not even just taller. That's why I put 5'9", because I'm like, you don't have to be 6 foot, but as long as I can like look up at you, because I guess you could say like gone on dates with like guys that are shorter, if not like the same height as me, a little bit taller, and I will admit, like I just don't feel as protected, I guess you could say. Like I just don't feel very feminine.
Yeah, women want to feel protect. Yeah, you want to be with a masculine to counteract your feminine. Right. Yeah,
I feel like I'm with the cousin.
I get it. I honestly don't think women should settle on a lot of things, and the reason why is because you're basically giving up the ability to have an orgasm for the rest of your life. Because orgasms and sex are very emotional for women. So if you sit there and you say you need to settle for these certain things, you need to settle for that, it's like, dude, they're not. You're basically telling her to just never have an orgasm again because she's never gonna feel pleased from any sex from those guys. You know, it really sucks. That's why Instagram is extremely fucking dangerous. The tree of knowledge. I always like to go back to the Bible about a lot of things, and like the tree of knowledge, like when Eve went and ate the apple, the ability to like see all this stuff, it's very dangerous. Like it's very harmful for our brains. You know, the dopamine rushes that we get from scrolling on Instagram. All that shit is very damaging to us. So we got to be very careful about it. I want to know what was the income that they all said, bro.
All right. So for Jasmine, her income was at least $100K a year.
Okay.
For Destiny is $150K plus.
Okay.
Stormy had at least $150K.
Okay.
And then for Katie, we have $200K.
Okay. See, we got some truth because we did the cards. You see that? You see that, Donnie?
Yep, absolutely.
This was incredible, chat. This was a great experiment that we did the cards this time because this showed usually like it's like whenever everybody knows what they're saying, it's like that answer is completely different usually. So ladies, I want to know what is the top what was it? What is $100,000 a year? Like what do y'all think that is in the in the bracket of like top earners? Like how many men and women make $100,000 a year? We're gonna say men and no, we'll just say just men. How many men make $100,000 a year? How many do you think?
Look, I haven't looked into the facts, so I'm just
Yeah, it's just a guess.
estimating.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just a
just a guess.
Guessing. I want to say top 15%,
Top
or at
15?
least making 100K a year.
Okay. What do you think, Destiny?
Also, like top 10, top 15.
Top 10, top 15. What do you think?
100K is easy to make nowadays, so I'd say maybe like 20.
Talk a little closer when you can. You said about 20%, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? It's just men only. Yeah, just men.
About probably 25%.
About 25?
Like she said, it's
Okay.
hard to make 100K these days.
So for men and women, it is 30%. So, but when you cut it in half, because it's 50-50 basically, the men are only 15%. So, like those people, or y'all said over 100K actually. So, does that bother you? Like, so let's let's look at 15% a little bit more. Half of those guys are married. So so it's actually about 7%. And in that 7%, they could be tall, short, fat, ugly, skinny, weird. There's all types of things that he can be in that 7%. So that's the thing. Y'all got to start thinking like, okay, this is a very small amount of guys. If you're just looking for the 100K a year or over, and like you're competing, and then you got to add in the height statistic too. There's a thing that Fresh and Fit does where they like have like a whole algorithm that goes back to the census, the U.S. Census, and all the statistics from there are fully accurate, and they can see the percentage of guys that y'all are looking for. Some of y'all that said $200,000 a year or 150 or whatever, dude, you would notice that if you put in all the things that you want, it's like 0.01% chance of finding it. It's really sad, and it's just
I
because
gotta
most of
say
those
I
guys are
found
taken are
mine.
overweight.
So
So I gotta say I found mine.
Yeah. She got lucky.
Better hold 'em.
Good job.
You
Yeah,
better
hold
hold
them, hold them.
Do
Get,
you
real
have a
tight.
cousin?
what
brother?
were you gonna say, Donnie?
So
It's got
I
two
think
brothers.
I think this is a great point as far as talking about percentages of men that make up that in America that make that much money. The next question that we also asked is what's the age range that they're looking for that potentially even makes that kind of money?
True.
Was even more telling.
Yeah. So what's the age range? What did they say?
So we got Katie's here. I know you, aside from you, which is in a relationship, you put 28 plus in age, making 200K a year.
Okay.
We have Stormy that's 28 to 38, making 150K.
28 to 38.
Destiny, we have at 30 plus, making 150K plus.
You with a guy who's younger. I'm just kidding.
And then we got Jasmine, who has an age range of 23 to 27 years of age, making 100K a year.
23 to 27. Okay. Well, so I got to ask, why are you shooting so high? You said 28 to 38. Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, like because I think it stems from like my siblings' age. I grew up around people who were like way older than me. So like my mentality does not match my age range, and the things that I can bring to the table, guys my age cannot reciprocate that. So typically that's why I always attract guys who are older than me, and I can connect with them better because like
You're on a different
yeah.
maturity level?
Yeah.
Hey,
So
no, like that's something we talk about all the time. Actually,
mhm.
there's a lot of women that are younger that are super mature and they like those older guys because they're ready for serious fucking shit. And a lot of guys
Right.
your age, they're fucking around right now. Like
Most definitely.
because of online dating and stuff, like Gen Z. Like I always say, under 25, you're just kind of fucked. Like that's just it's a bad bracket for the guys and the women. Like there's it's dating incorrectly in my opinion. Like I do all organic dating. Like I teach in my course, and like a big thing that I preach on this channel is for everybody to stop using online dating. It's very fucking toxic. It's very damaging. There's nothing that good that comes from it at all. There's no connection to that person, so there's no reason for him to treat you right. So like y'all have to just avoid online dating. And even when you meet people more organically, anyways, it's real. Like that's how shit is always fucking better. Like every one of my relationships have always been very amazing, and it was because like we met in real life, and like that's how you could see when somebody's serious or not. You can't tell by fucking text messages. There's no emotion. There's nothing there. I got to kind of ask just really quick. Wait, was I already on a question? Did I skip something? Whatever, I'm skipping it anyways. I got to ask, do y'all believe that the girl should chase the guy or the guy should chase the girl?
No.
We'll start with you on this one.
Oh. I go back and forth with myself sometimes with that question. Because, for example, like mom wise, my mom always told me that the man should love you more. But then I think about it too sometimes, and honestly at this point I think it should be 50-50. I think both people should want each other just as much. I don't think one or the other person should be like chasing the other person.
It should be
Because
equal.
then it becomes like just a game at that point.
Okay. What about you?
I'll go with what she said. Like, I was
50,
always
50.
taught, make sure, like, when you marry a man, like, make sure he loves you more or whatever as a female. But as far as, like,
Yeah, that's what Disney says too.
because it'll get boring. Like, I'm with this man and I have a history of cheating. So
Yeah.
if you love me more, then it's just unattractive too. Like, for a man to like love the female more, it sometimes gets unattractive. Like,
Simpish.
yeah,
It's like,
I
bro,
wanna let it
like
be
you should
equal.
be focused on other shit than me, huh?
Yeah.
Go focus on making money and
Go
taking
ahead.
over the world. Stop
Mhm.
fucking being stuck on my ass. What about you?
I see what they're saying, but I always feel as though like the man should always be the chaser.
He should always be
They'll
chasing.
respect you more.
You think? Okay.
Mhm.
What about you?
I don't really like the term like chasing because it does. I feel like that insinuates a game, but I do think that a man should begin the pursuit of a woman first and then respect her if she declines. But this day and age, I don't think it's uncommon for a woman to go after a man first, or at least make that first move or make
Mhm.
herself known. I think it's okay for a woman to make herself known and then the man to kind of do the manly thing and take grasp of the situation and go forward with it, or not if he's not interested.
Okay. No, I honestly I disagree with all y'all so hard. And the biggest reason why is because you don't fucking respect the guy that chases you. Like you just don't. Because he's not a real man. A real masculine man is so busy, so caught up with whatever the fuck he's doing. He doesn't have fucking time to be chasing a girl. Like he's so on his shit, on his purpose. that
Making
he
200K a year.
Yeah, making 200K a year. He's not fucking thinking about chasing a girl, and he's such a badass. He doesn't have to fucking chase a girl. The girls will come to him. And there's only a percentage of guys that get away with this. There's only a top 10% of men that make enough money, are tall enough, got good enough dick game, whatever the fuck you want to say, that can get away with this type of shit. But y'all truly like those guys the most. And whenever you choose that simp guy that chases you or whatever, it never fucking ends up working. I've been that guy in that relationship. It doesn't fucking work. I've seen it happen tons of times. I've seen girls be with them, the type of guys that just let you do whatever you want, and he's just the perfect little guy. Like one of y'all, I think you said, or you said that he'll respect you more. Dude, I've seen the opposite. I was actually probably more disrespectful when I was that simp bitch because I was so emasculated all the time, and I was such like a beta. Like you actually won't respect your girl better. Like I'd actually say that the guy who is fully in his frame and like the woman is coming into his frame and walking into his life and his success, no, he's able to completely hold it down and be stoic and not let anything that the woman does because he's in his frame and she's walking into it. It's one of the biggest things that I teach is that for a relationship to be working correctly, the woman has to constantly be wanting the man. Because today y'all have too many options with Instagram, with all this stuff. Even if you're not the type where you want to like exercise them or like talk to other guys or anything, just having the option, just having like that in the back of your head that, fuck this guy, there's always somebody better. No, you need to feel like you're with the best. Women want the most quality they can get. Guys want the most quantity they can get. So like y'all want to focus on that really, really quality guy when you can. And a lot of women, y'all can fuck a really badass guy. Like y'all can fuck a guy that's really amazing, but he won't give you the relationship. So you'll go to the simps. You'll go to the guys that will give away their money, energy, attention, and time to you because that guy won't give it to you. A lot of girls have rosters, but really they're fucking one guy, but then they got the others. I know we were debating this earlier. She got a roster though, guys, for real. No, I'm just kidding. She does. I'm not gonna put her out like that, but no, some girls do, not all of them. I really want to know though. Have any of y'all taken care of a guy before? Have any of y'all been in a relationship where y'all made more than the guy and took care of everything?
Yes,
Yes.
100%. So, my ex-husband, actually, I was the one with the car, I was the one with the apartment, and he actually came in to everything that I had. He did not have a job. I did. I made all the money. I paid for all the groceries. I paid for everything.
And it was toxic.
To an extent, it was not my most toxic relationship. I just don't think he had very much respect for me and what I was doing because I was supporting his dream because I cared about him and wanted to and thought that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's one thing. I want y'all to chase the guy, but I don't want y'all to end up taking care of the guy because you can't do build a man. You do build a man, you're gonna fuck
You
yourself.
eventually get tired of it.
Yeah,
And do what I did.
women like to see the guys at the finish line. Y'all, if you can, like, that's the best. And if you're gonna bet on a guy, I'll tell y'all how to bet on the right guy. I'll tell you exactly what to fucking do. Go to the plumber, go to the electrician, go to the HVAC guy. When you go to those guys, they're gonna get journeymen in the next 10 years. They might start businesses. Those general contractors, get in with those guys, because in 10 years they might be making 40, 50K right now, but they will be making 100K, 200, 300K if they have their own fucking business. Those guys are really going to be killing it if you invest in those guys. But most people aren't investing in those guys. They're investing in the fucking scammer or whatever the fuck. It's like women just kind of choose bad sometimes. What about you? Have you ever taken care of a guy before?
No, if you have to take care of the guy, he is not ready for a relationship.
He's not ready. Yeah, he's not. No, and I agree. Most guys are like this today because, like I was talking about the financial thing. What about you?
No, I'm not gonna say I was taken care of or anything, but I would be able to do more. So I've only been in like 2 relationships, and they've lasted for like 3 years each. So it got to a point where like I'm good with money, so they would come home, give me their check, and then.
I honestly think women can be amazing accountants. My accountant, my actual CPA is a woman, and she's fucking amazing, like incredible. I think that like there's certain skills that, so I believe in something called complementarianism. So that doesn't mean that men are better or women are better. Like equality is where egalitarianism is where everything's equal in a relationship. Complementarianism is where I'm really good at certain things and you're really good at certain things. So I may be the best at making money, but you're the best at fucking doing the house stuff or whatever the fuck it is, you know. But that's the best thing, is just you just need to be complementary to each other. It's not, you're not supposed to compete and try to do the same things. What about you though? Have you ever taken care of a guy?
So I wouldn't necessarily say it flat out like that, but I will say, again, bringing my age into perspective, because I do want to keep that as an as an open mind. But I, helped my current ex-boyfriend like get a job. He didn't have a car. I was driving him around. I want to say like the first year, we were still in high school, and like thankfully my parents have tried to give me everything. So I was like already driving as soon as I got into high school. Like I had a lot of things, but I helped him at first. And I had no problem doing it, but like after 2 years of us being together, and I had to constantly like find him a job, and like say for example like his tire popped or something, and
you were paying for it.
Yeah, well, not only that, but like I would tell him like, hey, like I have people to like if you need a tire, but he would go like 3 months without fixing it, and then I'd have to drive him around everywhere. So it was little things like that that I would just wait for him to take initiative. Like I'll help you out, like I'll do that because I cared and I loved him, but eventually like I wasn't seeing him do it for himself.
He's not a problem solver at all.
Right. And so I think he just got too comfortable with me doing it all the time. And it did eventually get into like I was at one point ready to almost like move out with him because I wanted to start that part. And then eventually like it was little conversations of like, well, I don't really have the money right now, or like just that kind of stuff, which money's not the issue because obviously like I was good with it, but just the fact that it was just me, that's what became very like
yeah, you can't enable him. I always say though that like y'all can't be with a guy unless he has incredible drive. Like he can be broke and all this stuff, but the drive to get shit done and get better and stuff, that has to be there.
So like the fact that he didn't want more is what bothered me.
Yeah, like you can't be with the guy who just plays video games all day. It just doesn't.
He's a brokey.
Oh my God, the fact that
he's a brokey.
That's such a coincidence.
Yeah, no, that's just how it is. Let me read those 2 super chats really quick, bro. And I got a really good question about respect that we're gonna do. $2 from JR. Thank you, bro. I'm bringing tequila Friday. Be ready. Hey, we're actually almost out of El Humador. So yeah, bring the tequila, bro. We got another one from Ombre. Thank you, bro. Like the video to be included in the new Instagram group chat. Yeah, the new one. I'm not even in that one. But yeah, so I want to ask y'all now though, because we were kind of talking about, like broke guys and stuff. Do y'all think that like a guy, or do y'all think that respect is equal? Do you think that you should both respect each other equally? Like she needs to respect him, he needs to respect you, or do you think that one person should respect the other more?
I think respect has to be equal, because if I'm being disrespected in a relationship, that's not fair. If I'm disrespecting my man, that's not good either. I do think respect is equal just in everyday life. But
like you respect me, I respect you kind of thing.
Yeah, but I grew up in a little bit more traditional household, so my mom definitely respected my dad more. Traditional sort of kind of roundabout way. So yeah, I kind of think the woman almost has to initiate the respect to the man in a way, especially looking at more high profile men. Like if you want someone, for me, like I want someone that makes $2K a year, that, is fit, takes care of himself, his mind, his body, his soul,
Mhm.
you know. And I do understand that a lot of women don't respect men in a lot of different ways. And I think a woman kind of has to initiate that, like,
Especially those top 10% guys.
right. It's like, hey, I do
Yeah.
respect you. I respect your time. I respect your energy, like that you're putting into me. And then
Your
it gets
investment.
right, your investment, and then it gets reciprocated. I think that's kind of how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. Good answer. What about you? What do you think about respect for the men and women? Do you think it's equal?
Yeah, I think it definitely should be equal because I grew up in a home that both parties lack respect for each other. So for me, respect is definitely
Equal.
yeah.
Yeah. If you do it to me, I'll do it to you. What about you?
For a man and a woman, yes, I believe in reciprocity, like
Yeah.
equal.
Equal. What about you?
Honestly, yeah, exactly what she said. I think it definitely has to be equal, but to a certain extent, I do believe that most of the women do have to kind of like initiate that
Initiate
at first,
it.
especially
Can I speak
with.
on this? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do a little more.
I deal with both parties.
Mhm.
I've only dealt with a female like seriously as like relationship wise only one time, and that was like my last time.
Mhm.
But as far,
Giggity.
I grew up to like I grew up like should be with a man type of thing, you know. And when I was with the female, I made more, and I would make sure she was in like good clothes, would eat all the time, make sure if she didn't have it, I'm taking care of the bills and stuff like that. So with that being said, I feel like the respect should be a little bit more.
Because you were paying for more?
Yeah.
Mm.
Just to like I'm keeping a roof over your head.
I'm just teasing you. I actually fully agree with you. I'm just teasing you.
So,
I fully agree with you. Yeah, no, yeah, like you're fully paying for it. Like
with
you're the one who's taking the bigger sacrifice technically, if you really
that
think
being
about it.
said, I would feel the same way with like if it were my husband and he says, "Hey, you don't have to work. Like I'm taking care of everything."
You feel like you maybe would need to respect him a little more.
Yeah, because you're taking care of me. I don't have to do anything.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So in one of my favorite books in the Bible was Ephesians, and the reason why is because they heavily talk about respect and love, and there's a cycle of respect and love in multiple ways in life. Back in the day, between slaves, the slave would respect the owner would love the slave, take care of them. A child respects their parents, the parents love the child. The church, the people respect the church loves the people, and it's the same in a marriage too. It's just like everything else, every other duality in the world. If a woman respects her man, the man will love the woman. And so it really does start, like you were saying, with the respect. And obviously, a lot of guys don't deserve it. That's why we're talking about the top 10% of men, because a lot of guys don't deserve respect. They ain't shit. They're not providers. And this is something we talk about a lot on the show. Like I was talking about, I'm going to get canceled sooner or later because I talk about shit that would destroy the powers that be. I tell the real truth that if y'all stay single, they make way more fucking money. They make way more fucking money y'all being single than if y'all are in a relationship and y'all have generational wealth buying houses together and shit. So it's one of my biggest topics that I'm always going to bring up. Y'all have to fight against this stuff because they're making the world to make it to where we're all against each other. They don't want you. They want 50%, like I said, like the top 10%. They want it to where those 9% of men, like think about how bad the wealth gap is going to be soon. The middle class is eroding, and there's going to be an upper class and there's going to be a lower class of a lot of broke people. That middle class is disappearing right now.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
People are going homeless.
Exactly. So like if we sit here and we don't team up with a top 10%er, if you don't find one of those guys that's a good one and team up right now, you could be in big trouble in the future. This is something that like I got to talk about. I don't like talking about this because it's something that bothers a lot of the women all the time, but it's the wall. Y'all don't want to waste y'all's time, especially y'all that are young. There's something called the wall that's a mental thing. I don't know when it's going to happen to you. It's different for every woman because every woman is a different beauty. Every woman ages differently. But like, see, you look very young for your age. So you might not hit the wall until 35 or 40 because you look so beautiful for your age. And but what the wall is, it's a mental thing. And you're gonna be like, oh fuck, I don't pull the same guys I pulled when I was 22. I'm not getting as DM'd as much. I'm not getting as much attention. My options are diminishing, and my options are turning into more of the guys that I don't really like or I don't want to fuck with. So y'all have to be careful whenever I tell y'all, there's this low chance of finding one of these guys that y'all want, and if you wait to a certain amount of years, they're not going to maybe want y'all because guys who are in that top 10%, they want young, beautiful, fertile women. So if y'all want to if y'all really want to take advantage of your value you have right now, you have to leverage it now. This is something we talk about all the time. Y'all are self-made millionaires at 18 years old. Women are self-made millionaires. Like right then, as soon as you hit it, like you have all this value, all this fucking worth, and it's slowly gonna start. Slowly eating into that money until you're 35, 40. And you don't want to end up at 30, 40 and that money's gone. Your value's gone and you're not in a marriage or anything like that. Guys, though, we're the opposite. We ain't shit at 18, bro. Unless you're a football player, a basketball player or something, you are fucking lame. You don't have no money. You don't have no status. You don't have nothing to, you have no experience to make you a badass. So at 30, 35, we become the badasses. And like, I like to always ask, who has more privilege in society? You think it's men or women?
That's a good question.
No, it's a really good. Just wait until y'all hear my answer. It's really good.
I think women have a lot of privilege. And I think honestly, if you're a pretty woman, you have even more
privilege.
That's a real
pretty privilege is a real thing. It really is. And I've had lots of conversations about this topic specifically. But definitely, like a woman can monetize on her beauty. I model for a living. I monetize on my beauty every single day,
Yeah.
and it's not hard. It is and it isn't. You know, I'm running my own business, but I do think a woman can also, you can scam men out of money. You can utilize them for money. You can do X, Y, Z, etc. Because then you go after those simp men that they just want a pretty girl.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
The finesse them. What about you, though? Do you think women or men are privileged more?
Definitely the women.
Women? What do you think?
I would say women.
What do you think?
Women.
So here's the thing. Y'all are saying that right now because you are right now. What happens is father time, mother nature. So at 30, 35, that privilege diminishes and it's not as much like when the wall comes and stuff like that. And that's when men take over. Men are the more privileged ones after a certain age, and women are more privileged when y'all are younger. It swaps on you. This is what makes it so hard is the powers that be, the people with all the money, they preach to us so hard to live in the moment. Live in the moment, live in the moment, live in the moment. And who's really fucking having fun living in the moment at a young age? Women are. It is extremely fun. You have so much value at that age. You can get flown out and be on a yacht in Miami at 19 if you want to, if you really want to. So it's just like y'all got so much value right there, so much fun that you could do. But what happens whenever you have a lot of fun early on, a lot of hedonism? You can't have your cake and eat it too. That shit's gonna come back and bite you in the ass sooner or later. Everything in life has an equal and opposite reaction. You can't have fun for fucking 15, 20 years and then not have some crazy negative reaction after that. That's just how life works. It doesn't matter who you are. Like there's nobody that escapes that. Like I don't like to talk about karma, but that level of karma, like that level of Taoism of going back and forth, it's always going to be there. Let me read that super chat really quick. I saw it earlier. $10 from Ombre of the House. Can they accept a proposal to be a wife without a wedding ceremony and no court involvement? Immediate family and the pastor only. Which matters more, the wedding for the day or be a wife for life? Yeah. Okay, so I'll start with you on this one. But yeah, would you get married? But no, there's not gonna be no court, so there's no fucking money issues. There's not going to be no wedding because it's not because you're trying to just dress up and have pretty wedding pictures. You're literally marrying this guy just because you really just want to be this guy's fucking wife. Would you do that?
I did do that.
You did do that?
I did do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so was that the guy you're not with anymore though?
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't work out.
It did not work out. No.
Would you do it again?
To an extent. I don't need like an extravagant something, but I didn't have any celebration whatsoever. I didn't even have a proposal. We were just like, hey, you want to get married? Yeah, cool, let's do it. And then he left the country 3 months later. So don't marry a Nigerian man.
Nigerians holding it. Oh,
we all say no.
Sika. Oh no. What about you?
I've always said that I really could do without a wedding, but the honeymoon would have to be extravagant.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Either that or the house has to be extravagant. Because that $30,000 that you would have spent on a wedding better be a down payment on a house or something. What about you?
I've always been one to just be like, we can just go to the courthouse.
Yeah, just get it done.
Yeah.
What about you?
With me, I've actually thought about this not recently, but like just been thinking about it. With marriage in general, like I've always thought I would rather have a small wedding and like just focus on using all that money for our honeymoon. So in that case too, like what did they say at the beginning?
Well,
yeah, like I wouldn't need anything big like a wedding ceremony. I honestly, like with all the paperwork, to me that's like the last thing I want to think about.
Yeah,
because that's an even bigger deal,
Yeah.
especially with the government and everything. Like they're just controlling your marriage. That's just
Yeah, guys. I don't know what everybody's opinion is on prenups at the table, but I want y'all to know prenups are not fucking bad at all. They're actually very biblical. Prenups are something that everybody should fucking do, and the reason why is because it's better for y'all to decide together with your own lawyers than it is for some fucking asshole sitting on a fucking chair deciding that has no relation to either of you. So like fuck that. Like you should always fucking decide beforehand because fuck the court system. Like it's never gonna work out doing that shit. I gotta ask, kind of playing into that, money and stuff. Do y'all care about a guy's like 401k, IRA, HSA? Is that something that you like? Does he need to be on his grind when it comes to savings and stuff? Like for you to take him seriously?
Yes, because I take mine seriously, so I want someone that takes theirs equally as seriously, especially if like we're gonna grow old together and like want to retire. And I think you kind of need to have that backup so you're not working until you're 85 years old.
Yeah, like our parents right now retiring can retire with 2 million and they'll be fine because there's like a math equation that you can do to see when you can retire and how much money you'll need and stuff. But for our generation, we're gonna need 6 to 7 million. Like, and that's just because of how inflation is and stuff like that. It's gonna get fucking bad. And most people, you have to be maxing out your 401k at $20,000 a year for you to be able to do that right now. Most people are not maxing their 401ks at $20,000 a year to get that 6-7 million in 30 years. Most people are not. What about you? Do you care about those things for those guys?
Yeah, because you just never know what can happen in a relationship on either parties, and somebody has to be able to pick the other one up, if they fall.
Just in
So,
case. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, what she just said. You never know what's gonna happen. Like the whole scamming thingy and doughboys and stuff like that. That can't last forever, and you can't set up savings and stuff like. I mean, if you do it right, but you can't set up savings and stuff like that. So somebody has to be able to pick up the slack if you don't have it.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I agree. My dad was always the main one to tell me like always have money just in case something happens. So the fact that that's already like my mindset, I can't be with someone who doesn't see for their future, that's not already thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
and
literally never know.
This is what I mean by the 10% thing. Like I coach guys all the time. No guys have these things. Like no guys have 401ks, IRAs, HSAs. Like a lot of them aren't doing it unless they're like older, or they're like in a really good financial situation. That's why I say it's really hard to find these guys. Y'all got to look really hard for them. One of the big things that Sika, shout out to you, Sika, the Call Me Goods, the guy that recruits some of y'all tonight, and some of my other recruiters and the other guys part of our team. We go to charity events, political events, networking events, and we like to take the girls because that's where y'all find guys that are on this type of purpose. A lot of y'all don't know where to go sometimes, like in real life and stuff. So if y'all are ever interested, slide into Sika's DMs. He'll let y'all know whenever we go to another event. Because yeah, that's where you find guys that actually aren't like fuck boys, and like actually know what they want, care about their future and shit. Yeah, it's really hard. I feel bad for y'all. Another tip, just so y'all know, if you would ever want to do this, you can work under the guy that you would want to be with. Like, say you're the type of girl where you've always wanted to be with a doctor. You should get into nursing. You should get into some type of work that works under a doctor, so you have more chances of meeting a doctor and being like and having your chance of like pursuing that. I guess you could say. Or like a lawyer, become a fucking paralegal. Always just go into whatever field they're in. I guess you could say. Let me think. What was my next one? Let's do. Do y'all care about a guy who wears rapper wear or business suits? Which one? Would you rather have the guy that's dressing super nice or, gangster? You can also say both because sometimes y'all just want a guy that can kind of do both. He can do both sides.
I I mean, I've dated both. I've been with both, but I think in the long run, like if I'm looking for someone that I want to marry and build a life with and like a successful life with, I'm going to want someone that also exudes that from the outside and shows that from the outside. So someone that dresses a little bit nicer, even if it's just like a casual nice, not necessarily rapper wear. Though
Yeah.
to me that is a front, and any guys that I've ever messed with like that are either drug dealers or pimps. So
Especially if it's like the expensive clothes, like all the Gucci and shit like that.
yeah, especially if they wear Gucci, they're probably full of shit.
Yeah. So that's another thing we talk about a million times all the time on this fucking show, guys. Peacock, guys.
Yeah.
So what that means is like they fucking sit there in front like they have money when they don't. They could be fully in debt, but they fucking have all the fucking Gucci on, you know? And like this is something that guys do because it's really easy to get girls. It's really easy to get sex by peacocking, by acting like you're something. You can't be fooled. This is why it's really good to have men in your life that help you, because we see that shit and immediately know he's a broke bitch. But y'all see a lot of women see that shit and they're like, oh, he's cool or this, or like he has money. It's like, no, he's probably in debt over that.
Destiny, I'm pretty sure you get a lot of that.
Yeah,
at
she
your
sees
job.
those guys all the time. All those tricks, huh?
Tricking, throwing money and shit like that.
Call it out all the time.
All the
Seeing
time. Yeah, but those are the guys that you make good money off of too, though.
Mhm.
What about you, though? Like, which one of the style wears would you like?
It has to be a balance. Like you gotta be able to dress it up and make it real for me, but you also gotta be able to like, you know, put that shit on too. So yeah.
Both.
Mhm.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say both, like what she said. And then again, like even if a guy just dresses regular, say it's not name brands, or no, we're gonna say this: if you've got all this Gucci on, I need your car, I need your house, I need your finances to match.
To make sure it matches, 1,000%. Yeah.
And I respect it more.
Another thing, I actually learned this from. I used to be friends with a lot of strippers. I learned this from one of them. She told me that if a guy wears two different brands, like say like he has like a Burberry belt on, but then like a Gucci hat, like that's just so goofy, you know? It's just like at least wear matching kind of if you're going to wear those things, like kind of match it together. Yeah.
I'd rather the same brand.
Yeah, it needs to be all the same. Yeah. Well, you're gonna get made fun of. You could wear the separate shit, but be prepared to get made fun of for it. What about you?
I agree with both. I just feel like, for example, me, like I can just dress for any occasion. If it's super fancy, then I can dress up super fancy and like not look stupid.
Mhm.
And I can go to like a small cookout that's like very casual. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I would want somebody that can dress in all types of varieties.
Okay.
But I would probably say that like even the most richest people sometimes will dress like a regular. You would never even know that they're rich. So I would definitely say like that plays a big part.
They do
as
that
well.
on
Yeah,
purpose.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's smart. That's how you don't attract
right.
fucking people that are trying to just rob
Right,
you or
'cause they
some
know what
shit.
they have. They don't need to dress to impress everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, got
Once you
that.
know your value, you don't give a fuck.
Got that Mark Cuban fit.
Yep. I want to know does body count matter to you? We're gonna say for yourself, like not for the guy. Well, yeah. Does body count matter in general? Does body count matter?
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's a past, like it's in the past.
Yeah, back in the day. What about you?
Like for me,
You talk closer if you can.
For me as or
Yeah. Say for you. Like, what do you think?
for me, I don't really think so. Long as you know you're clean.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. What about you?
Exactly what she said. Like, is everything come back clean, negative?
Mhm.
Then we good.
Okay. What about you?
I agree.
You
Same.
agree? It doesn't matter. Yeah. What's your body count?
Honestly,
You don't want to say it? You don't want to say it? You don't have to say it if you don't want to say it.
honestly,
You don't have to say it if you don't want to say it.
it's high up there.
You don't have to say it if you don't want to say it.
The thing is, I don't know what it is.
Okay. That's fine.
She
What
don't
about you?
know.
Double digits,
I've
triple
lost-
digits?
It's double digits,
double
but
digits,
I
but-
lost track.
Yeah. What about you?
one.
One? For real?
Dead ass.
Dead ass? That's
Dead
funny.
ass.
What about you? What's your
I
body
know
count?
it's above 20.
What's your body count?
Like 5.
Well, that fucking ruined my joke. Because the whole point of it was like, y'all are going to be like, I don't want to tell you. It's like, well, if it doesn't matter, then why don't you tell me? But y'all fucking told me. Y'all literally ruined the joke. Thanks, ladies. God, why are y'all so honest? They were too honest, guys. Nah, but that's fine. Like, I'm really happy that y'all all like truly do not care about body count to the point that y'all would tell a bunch of people on the internet what your fucking body count is. That is very like, yeah, y'all truly don't care. But usually women do end up caring, and they end up wanting to hide it. And I can be like, you want to hide it because you do care about it.
Right.
But yeah, I guess y'all really
I
don't
feel
fucking
like
care.
it also just depends because a lot of people like shame so many women for the amount of body counts that they have
So why do you think guys do that?
for a lot of reasons.
Do you think that it's just the patriarchy, or it's just society, it's just the environment that makes us do
no,
that, or do you think there's a reason behind it?
I think biologically there's a reason. I think men are what man wants to be with a woman that's ran through. I don't think any man wants that.
It goes back to the like we've been Homo sapiens for 300,000 years, and for majority, 99.999% of that time, we could not tell if the baby was ours or not. It's that simple. We could not tell if it was our kid or not. So a woman that slept around was thrown to the fucking woods because that's like, how are we going to tell who's the fucking kid is? There was no way to tell. So that's why it was very, 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 very serious. It was so serious that there was rulers that would literally cut the dicks off of all the guards for the women. They were called what is the word? I can't even think of the damn word. But yeah, they would have guards. They'd cut their dicks off so they couldn't even sleep with their fucking harem of women or the harem of women. Haram. I want to know though, for for like the whole sex thing, do you think that like a guy with a high body count is the same as a woman with a high body count?
I
Like they're
think,
both hoes, I guess you could say.
yeah, I think so. Honestly, like I said earlier, you're a product of your environment, like we've talked
Yeah.
about. So based off of what you've seen, what you grew up with, and your past and how you grew up, XYZ, etc., however many factors you want to add into it, I think that that makes a difference on if that's something that you do or not. What's interesting is I've actually never ran into a guy that cared what my body count was.
Yeah, because most guys don't. If most guys know that if they bring it up, it's just gonna make it hard for them to get pussy. And why would you make it harder for you to get pussy when it's already hard to get pussy?
Yeah.
Guys who get pussy really easily, or guys who like are really confident, they'll fucking say it all day long because I don't fucking care what anybody thinks. I'm still gonna be able to get girls regardless.
Yeah.
So like but it just depends. Like a lot of guys though that are suffering or like can barely get pussy, they won't say half the shit that I say on this fucking show or be honest, because if they were honest, it would just ruin their chance of pussy with all these different girls. And like it's also I'm really talking to y'all as like a brother, an uncle, a father. Like I have no interest in having sexual relations with anybody at this table. This is everything I say to y'all. It's because I just want y'all's lives to get better. I just want everybody to do better. As it's no benefit to me at all. It has nothing to do with it. But I want to say though, like, so the reason why it's really different though is because it's if something's easy, it's not respected. It's easy for women to get sex, so it's not respected. It's hard for men to get sex, so it's really respected. So like a man with a high body count, a woman with high body count, they're completely different because the man, he's doing something right. There's something that he has going on in his life for him to get that body count. Whether it's his height, his looks, his money, whatever it is, he's doing something right to get that. Whereas a woman can have a high body count for nothing, for just fucking just literally just going just because she wanted to. It's not respected. And like we were kind of talking about earlier, there's statistics that show that a woman with a higher body count, because y'all release oxytocin when y'all have orgasms, so y'all pair bond harder. So it is, I mean, guys are bad too. Like I don't think guys should go and have 50 bodies or anything like that either. That's something I preach heavily on this show. I don't think that guys should sleep around either, but I would say that women are more damaged by it. But we're both destroyed by pair bonding. Like we will both not be able to pair bond if we both fucking slept with 50 people. It's not going to help either one of us. But what about you? What do you think about like, do you think it's the same for a man and a woman? Or was that the question? What did I ask? Wait.
I forgot what you asked.
Yeah, it was like
was
is sex the
something.
same for men and women?
Does a guy's body count matter?
Yeah. Does the guy's body count matter?
Well, you asked us
we
that
already
already.
Yeah. Or wait.
I think you.
If
can't
body
remember.
count matters at all in
No,
general,
that was
the first
before.
one.
Yeah, I can't remember now. I keep going on tangents. I'm sorry, guys.
I think you asked like if it's the same with a man and a woman.
Oh yeah, is
Oh,
it the
yeah,
same? Yeah, or
yeah.
is a
Like,
high
is it
body
the
count the same?
same?
Well, I already proved my points. Now, if you disagree with me, you already know my.
Yeah,
You
I
already
agree
know.
with what you said because I was gonna say something different, but once you got to talking, like I seen it, from your perspective.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
No.
You're still gonna think it's the same?
No, because like I mean, it's like like if we can both be hoes. Like if you get a lot of pussy and say I was out here just fucking anybody that wanted to fuck me, then we both hoes at that point. But
Yeah. I definitely think that people should match baggage, is what they call it. So like if you do have baggage, or you should like have somebody that has matching baggage.
Okay.
It's something that I read about online recently. I didn't even know like there's like a whole way of describing it as matching baggage. You gotta make sure like y'all shit matches at the airport.
But real quick to touch on what you said like a couple minutes ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Me.
What about the body count thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, it'll come.
Was it about having emotions, like with the more body counts that men have,
Or the
like not to have,
oxytocin
like,
or anything like that?
I love
The
her.
pair bonding?
men shouldn't be sleeping around or something like that?
I mean, men are gonna get more respect when they sleep around.
Oh yeah, the respect
because
thing.
they can get pussy. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Okay,
Anything
so
easy
as
isn't
far
respected?
As to like, because I want to keep a lower body count. I
Mhm.
don't want it to have to get up to 3 digits.
Yeah.
So I'll spin the block.
Yeah, to make sure that your number stays low.
Facts.
And
Yeah.
you can't just like nowadays. There's so many diseases and stuff going on, and
Yeah.
people don't take care of themselves the same way. So you just gotta keep a hold of that too.
What about you?
Yeah, I agree with what you said.
Yeah, it's just a little different. And like I said, it's just because anything easy isn't respected. That's as simple as it gets when it comes to the whole body count thing. Yeah, green flag.
I've been doing that.
I gotta ask, who's using? Does anybody use dating apps at this table?
I do not believe in dating apps.
Oh, good.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I'm good.
No.
Oh, good.
Negative.
Hey, we got a good table, guys. These are good girls. Y'all should be hitting them up. That's rare. Would you date a single mother, or I mean, a single father?
Yes, I have. I don't mind dating a single father.
Okay. What about you?
I prefer a man with no kids.
You would prefer it, yeah.
Yeah.
But would you pay maybe if he was like a really? We'll say he's a really good guy, like top
If
10%er,
he would have to only have one baby mom,
just one,
be a great dad.
and
Yeah.
and like have good co-parenting, kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you?
I'll go with what she says. Like for my idea, I want to go ahead and get serious. I'd rather you just we both not have any kids.
Yeah.
But nowadays everybody
So
has
hard.
children. Yeah. So.
Yeah. What about you?
I would, preference wise, of course, I would prefer to be with someone with no kids, just so we could start our own family.
Mm-hmm.
But I've come across one dude that he has a little girl, and he is like such a good dad. And I mean, for my age right now, I'm just kind of like, I just don't think it'll work out regardless. So that's why I didn't, pursue him. But I did think about it, and I was like, you know what, like, considering the fact that he's a great father, he has stuff going really good for him. Like, he seems like an overall good man. So I definitely would in the future, but preference-wise, probably not.
So there's something that I talk about a lot, and it's called pre-selection, because pre-selection is like one of the biggest things I teach with my course. And basically, what pre-selection says is that a guy that is around women, has kids already, you've seen him in multiple relationships with girls, or he's known as the guy that's good. That pre-selects him, and he's a safe bet. He's not a rapist. He's not somebody that's going to hurt you. Because all throughout history, y'all kind of had to be scared of that shit, especially when we were like still animal beings. Like, you had to be super scared of certain men. You never know who's like something violent and scary. Because we're also the most violent species of all the species. Like, there's like 17 other Homo whatever, like different sapien stuff, and we killed them all off. We're the last one because we killed all the other ones. We're very fucking violent. But like, because of that, pre-select is a very big deal. So a lot of guys get chosen just because of pre-selection. They already had kids with a woman, so that means that he must be good in some way. You've seen him already be in relationships, so he's a good relationship guy. One of the things I teach is to be friends with women, because just being friends with a lot of women and being surrounded by them just gives you more opportunity around them, and it makes you look safe and not like a bad, scary bet. So that's one of the big things I teach guys. Y'all also got to remember, or y'all got to know, 1 in 4 guys end up having children. 1 in 4 guys' lineage goes on. And it used to be 1 in 17, 8,000 years ago. 1 in 17 used to fucking reproduce. And that's because back then there were sultans and kings and fucking Genghis Khan. There was all these people fucking like pillaging, and like there was one guy having sex with 50 to 60 different women, like, so those guys, their DNA is across the world. But most guys die off and their DNA goes with them. It's fucking gone. That's most men. So if you're ever like, oh, I don't want to be with a guy who fucking has a kid or something like that, well, that's just most of the guys that are actual dateable or like actually, good. Yeah.
I actually look at it as like, that's one less kid I have to have. Like,
Yeah.
low key, like
Yeah.
that's one more that I have to push out. And like, if you can already see that they're a good father, then you already know.
Exactly.
Because I've definitely dated guys that are not good dads, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with you instead of my kid, and I'm like, absolutely not. Like, you better go see your kid. That's trash.
Yeah,
What?
I have a daughter, and I know it just helps me more than anything, and that it didn't hurt me at all after I had it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it helped. I want to kind of go into something that's similar but a little different. Would y'all, we're gonna say a millionaire, a guy who makes really good money, completely killing it in life. He's fully honest with you, fully in his frame of man, very stoic. But you're gonna be the wife, or we're gonna give 2 scenarios. You can either be a sister wife, and he's a millionaire. You're gonna live the perfect lifestyle, but you're gonna be a sister wife, or you're the main woman, and he has bitches on the side. And that kind of thing, instead of the sister wife thing. Would you be okay with either one of those for a perfect guy? Talking millionaire and everything. What about you?
I have actually had this conversation come to me so many times with different men that I've either like met, come across. I don't know. It keeps coming into my life. I've got friends in those relationships. The only thing that I would ever be okay with is if I was the main and we had a very, very strong bond. But I would also have to choose the woman. I would have to have a choice in who the woman was that we were spending the rest of our lives with. But ultimately, is that my ideal? Absolutely not.
Well, that's a sister wife. She's gonna spend the rest of your life. Like, he's not allowed to have, like, a main and bitches is what the other one was. So, like, you'd be the main,
A
but then
main
he has
and
random
bitches.
bitches. Like they're never gonna be at the house. Like, they literally get nothing. Like, he takes them and fucks them and then leaves and never see. Like, they're literally treated like bitches.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You-
I would rather do the sister wife thing.
Yeah.
A man that like has respect for the multiple women that
Yeah.
he's with, than like he's just
Kind
gonna
of
throw
like
these other girls
what
away.
Islam does. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
No,
Talk a little closer.
I couldn't do it.
You can't do it.
No.
Either one of them.
No.
Okay.
No.
What about you?
This is the only way I could do it. If like you can't be out here getting her the same stuff that you get me. Whatever I ask for, I'm gonna get it, no problem.
You'd want to do the
Like,
main
you
bitch
can't-
thing.
Yeah,
Like,
the
you're
main
the main.
bitch thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can't. She can't be having. She can't get her no cars and all that
Yeah.
extra shit like that. And then, if you're gonna do it, make sure they
It
know
doesn't
their
embarrass
place.
y'all.
They know their place. I'm not embarrassed, and I don't ever have to just like full out see it or just hear about it.
Yeah, you want it out of sight, out of mind. Like, don't fucking even show me. It don't embarrass me by getting it. Social media and shit. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
I personally wouldn't be able to do it.
Neither one of them.
I guess that also falls back into like what you grow up with and what you just know. To me,
Mhm.
like I can't see myself.
Yeah.
doing
If
that.
you saw your parents, a perfect loyal relationship, it's
Right.
really hard. So
Mhm.
I gotta ask: do y'all think loyalty is the same between men and women? Do you think that like loyalty to a man and loyalty to a woman are the same? We'll start with you.
I don't think they're the same. I think they should be, but I don't think they're the same. I think definitely like in this case, no woman wants to have more than one man. Like,
Yeah.
speaking traditionally, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I definitely think if a man really wants to, like, he's not gonna have eyes for anybody else. I think that's definitely very possible. It may not be like the 10% of men that we're talking about,
Yeah.
but I will say that, like, according to my experiences, like, if
There's some guys that are good guys that would be loyal.
right, and they may not have all the money in the world. They may not have that aspect, but at least for me, like, I care about that a lot more because I know that with what I bring to the table, we can eventually get to that money aspect of it and stuff,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's how I
What do you think?
I don't think it's the same.
You don't think it's the same?
No.
Loyalty's not the same? What do you think? Is loyalty the
No.
same between men and women? No?
I don't think it's the same. I think women are always more loyal.
Are more loyal?
Mm.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't think it's the same, and I'm actually going to go against what she says just because I do know a lot of shit women. I'm going to like put it out there. In my experience, I have seen and met men that are actually and had conversations with men that are a lot more loyal than the women that they've been with. And I think women can be very vile creatures because they know that they have that power, like you said, at least within their young age. So yeah, I don't think it's the same. I think men honestly can be a lot more loyal once they find that woman. Like, if they're not into that woman, then obviously they're going to have their choices or whatever. But whenever they find a woman that they're into, they're very loyal.
Okay. Yeah. So loyalty is absolutely different between men and women. Like, what women want a guy to be loyal about and what a man wants a woman to be loyal about are two completely different things. Men really give a fuck about your sexual loyalty. We give a fuck, like we already explained the history of why we give so much fucks about sexuality and shit. That's why we really give a fuck about girls' body counts. We really give a fuck about our girl going out on girls' trips and girls' nights out and Instagram pictures, bikini pics. Like, there's a lot of things that bother us, and it all goes back to us really giving a fuck about loyalty sexually. It all goes back, like, that's my pussy, I don't want nobody around it type shit. Like, we're very territorial as fuck when it comes to like that sexual shit. And this goes back to animals and everything. This is how we are, or this is how we protect our family, our kids, the same way like we want to protect our woman and make sure nobody can go around it like that. So like
Sorry, I just want to interrupt you, but
yeah, go ahead.
So I actually just recently kind of shifted my perspective on it, and I completely agree with you. Because I was talking to a guy, and he was a great guy, but he actually was honest with me and was like, hey, like, I know we're not like dating, you're not my girlfriend, anything like that, but like, he was very honest and told me that it did bother him that I don't have like nude pictures on my Instagram, but I do have like me
bikini
in a
pictures or
bikini,
something,
yeah, or just like they're very aesthetic or whatever. But he did like say that, and he came up with like his whole reasoning and stuff like that. Very respectful, and it definitely shifted my perspective. And even though we didn't end up working out, like, I actually went out of my way to just delete them all in all, just for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And weirdly enough, like, I think it's very surprising that I stopped getting a lot of male attention on my DMs. Like, now, if anything, like, I don't really get a lot of guys sliding up, and I'm like, wow, like, he was low-key right.
Yeah.
Because me having all those pictures, Well, I
It
didn't have a
encouraged
lot,
it,
but like
yeah.
I definitely had a little bit of me in a
Mhm.
bikini or whatever, and I would literally just get hard eyes or weird guys DMing me, and like once he kind of opened my eyes to that perspective, and once I just went out of my way to delete them, I realized very quickly that like I get no DMs, and if I do, more than likely these men are actually like interested
Fuck
in
boys,
me.
yeah.
No,
No, like the
I
ones that are
did.
DMing me, like
Oh, yeah.
now at least, like I know that they're a little bit more
Interested in you.
Yeah, because they don't just see me naked all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so loyalty is completely different. And here's another reason why. So like we give a fuck about like we really care about that sexual loyalty a lot. What do you think? Let's guess. What do y'all think y'all care a lot about? I want to see. I'm gonna guess and see if y'all think y'all know. What do you care actually a lot about loyalty wise? Think about it. You might not be able to guess it because you've never heard this before.
Like loyalty from a man.
Yeah, in a different way though, not sexually. There's something else that y'all really give a fuck about.
Um, just protection, safety. I
Protection,
guess.
safety. What do you think? You
Yes,
might have heard last time we talked about
it's
this.
gonna be sex.
Oh, you think sex? What do you think?
Just being present.
What do you think?
Emotional loyalty.
Emotional loyalty. Okay, so it's a mixture of things, but it all goes back to one thing: provisioning. And I'll prove to you in just a second with an example how. But a guy's money, energy, attention, and time. If he gives his money, energy, attention, and time to other women, that is for you. That is for you to be able to take care of you and your children and all that. A guy giving out $10 a day to like some hoe or spending his money on stupid shit, that's fucking up y'all's future and your ability to take care of your children. So y'all give, that's why if a guy likes a picture on Instagram or something, y'all would be very fucking pissed off about it. Don't you dare give any of those girls. Well, most girls don't like. I've literally had girls do some crazy shit just because their boyfriend liked the girl's picture and shit. Like literally come and do stuff with me just out of revenge and stuff. Some women are fucking crazy. Oh, dude, it's so toxic. But there's some women that are like that. They're just like, my man's not allowed to fucking do anything like that because y'all really care about those things. And I'll do an example to prove it. Now, I'm gonna y'all have to choose. Would you rather be with a part-time pimp? I'm not saying a literal pimp. I'm saying a guy that he makes really good money. He's traveling for work, and he might one time a year on one of his business trips, he ends up sleeping with a girl. Nobody ends up knowing about it. He uses a condom. Nothing comes back and hurts y'all or anything like that. And it was just a one night thing. Never happened again. He never talked to the girl again. Would you rather be with that guy that once a year that's going to happen, or the guy that every day he's a full time simp? That means that he's sending $10 to girls that ask for it. He's liking pictures. He's DMing girls all day long. He's constantly seeking and talking to other women all the time, giving them money, energy, attention, and time. Would you rather be with that guy? And I know y'all know those guys that do that type of shit. Those guys that are just huge fucking simps and they can't stop themselves if their life depended on it. Would you rather be with one of those guys or the guy that's a part-time pimp? Once a year, he's such a G, he just fucked a girl.
Since those are my two options, I would go with the first, the pimp once
The pimp,
a year.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, Mr. Part-time.
Part-time.
Yeah. And the reason why is because y'all really give a fuck about those resources. And like y'all and like but a guy, he would never accept his or a real like most guys would never accept their girl going and fucking somebody else and then coming back to them.
A woman would want that.
Yeah, I don't think they would either. Most women don't. But for a woman to have sex with another guy, I think she has to be detached. And it also needs to be something called a beta bucks alpha fuck situation. So sometimes women will marry a guy or end up in a relationship with a guy because he's a beta bucks. He's the guy who chased you. He's the guy that will fucking do anything for you, buy anything for you. Like he's your simp. Like he'll just do whatever it takes. And they'll be with that beta bucks, but he doesn't turn them on. They don't get orgasms from him. So they will go fuck a guy on the side. They will have a whole other guy that they actually really probably love that they fuck while they're getting taken care of by a beta bucks. And this is something that's really normal today. This is why like a lot of relationships are falling apart is because women can only love one man at a time. I really believe that. I mean, she's an example that's not really true fully all the time, but I truly believe that women can love one man at a time. And men only love one woman at a time, but they want variety. Like a guy wants quantity. A guy wants to fuck as many as they can sometimes, but most guys don't have that option. How many guys actually can get pussy easily? Top 10%. So most guys don't even get to exercise options. You know? You have something to say though?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to like ask the girls in a sense,
Yeah.
because I know you kind of keep bringing it up. You keep saying that like women don't like the Sims and stuff, which I agree to a certain extent. But for example, like me,
I think you like them. You don't respect them. I think you do like it. You definitely like it.
Yeah, because like for example, right now, I'm not really like interested in looking for a relationship. So I'm not really like talking to people. I'm just kind of staying in my own lane. Honestly, I kind of like my peace and like quiet. But I've noticed that, like, if a certain guy is, like, constantly hitting me up or, like, constantly showing me interest, like, if anything, that kind of makes me want to be like, okay, well, he keeps showing interest, so, like, let me see what he's about. Whereas when there's, like, certain guys that will only text me, like, once, and I'm just, like, not feeling it in the moment, and they, like, never text me again, then I'm like,
Yeah.
Like, that, to me,
it's a
that
really
attracts me. So I'm
hard
like,
balance.
Yeah,
It's
So how do
see,
y'all
so like my
I'm
girl
the
like
op-
chased me, you know, it just depends. Like
I'm the opposite. I do not like a guy to be blowing me up like that. Like that's a
right.
turn off.
Well, I don't
for
mean
me.
like blowing up, but just like, you know, like,
pursuing.
yeah,
right, like he
pursuing.
just
Yeah, well,
definitely shows interest like most of the time, you know,
Yeah.
like he may not be doing everything. That's obviously annoying, but I'm just saying, like, from time to time, you can definitely tell when one person's like
I think it
interested.
feels good to be
you know?
pursued. Don't get me wrong, especially
Right.
if you've been dealing with guys that were like that top 10% that didn't want to pursue, like they didn't need to, so you were
Right.
pursuing them. I think it feels really good as to have to be with or have these guys pursuing you and doing all this. But it's all at the end of the day, it's all about what naturally really fucking turns you on and like you really
Yeah.
like. And when we look at the biology, we look at the science, man. It's those fucking narcissistic piece of shit drug dealers, guys going to prison. It's the really piece of shit guys that make your clit tingle. Sadly, it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up, but it's just the truth. So like you like you could say you really like those guys, and maybe sometimes you do. Like maybe you, like he's not. I think that a guy, there's a balance. He can't go too much.
How he comes across,
Yeah, like
right?
if he goes
Yeah.
too much, he's
Mhm.
fucking way too bad. But if he kind of gives you just enough to keep, yeah, there's like a really weird thing that I have to teach guys all the time, where like when you're pursuing the girl, you can't fully pursue, but you got to show enough attention that she knows
Right.
that you're serious, you know.
Right.
But yeah, you can't sit there and fucking go crazy pursuing them, or else they'll never respect you. Yeah, you just look like a simp. I gotta go pee really quick, but hey, actually, Rod is in the house. So Rod, are you over there? Can you come over here really quick? Why don't you come jump on the panel, bro? Yeah, Rod Eric in the house, guys. He's gonna jump on while I go pee really quick. What's up, bro? You can come in on either one of these sides that you can slip in on.
So I'm realizing right now that I have a very unique situation. I actually pursued my man to an extent, and then he started pursuing me. So it was like, I was always calling him like, hey, come over, like, just, and he'd be like, nah, like, I'm not trying to, I'm like, no, like, I just, like, want to hang out with you. Like, I think you're cool. Like, we always have good conversation, like, whatever. And then finally he did. He started coming over. He came over once, and then all of a sudden he was like, hey, can I come over? Hey, can I come over? Hey, can I come over?
Can I put in my 2 cents?
Yeah.
When you're done.
Yeah. Oh, go for it.
That's the 200K one. No.
Honestly, I don't.
It's on my
He
Instagram.
makes a lot of. I'm just gonna spend it on.
Okay.
He makes more money than.
So it's like with men like that, like they're just like, I already got it. So like this, she obviously wants some of it. So you're more than likely gonna have to chase him a little bit. Now once he gets a taste of you, if you got the right personality and stuff like that, they're gonna keep coming back.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
And she
He
did.
kept coming back.
She did.
Well, it was a situation where I was like, I don't need you because what I said that I want, I make half of that, right?
Okay.
So it's like I don't need you necessarily. It's like I want to be with you, and I had to make that extra clear to this man. I was like, I don't need your money or anything like that, and I don't think he even took it like that. I didn't even know. Whenever I was getting to know him, I didn't even know how much the man made or anything like that. Like he doesn't talk about that. But yeah, like it was very much like it was one of those balance situations that we were just talking about. It was a balance of like, hey, I do want to hang out with you. And he was finally like, all right, let me give it a chance. And then he started pursuing me. I don't think I even realized that was what was happening at the moment though. But right in this minute right here, I'm like, oh man, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Kudos. Good job.
So one thing about that too, though, I know that you said you laid it out up front saying that you advised him that you didn't need him. I think honestly that's one of the worst things you can do as a woman is telling a man that you don't need his money. It should be shown by your action, not being told. Because the last thing a man wants to be told is that he's not needed or his primary resource is not needed. Okay. Because that's a big turnoff.
Yeah, I had a guy tell me that once because they end up feeling like, well, where do they fit in if you don't need them? So yeah,
I think that I totally understand that. I always say that in a sense of like, it's not that I need you, it's that I want you. So it's like, not that I'm trying to use you for anything. It's like, I want you around because I enjoy your personality and your presence, and we can build everything else that we need to build. Like, not, I see that you got money, I see that you got this, so, you know, I need you. Like, I want to take advantage of that type of thing. Like, I think that's where I'm coming from.
I'd rather want you before I need you.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
I feel like I feel like when women say, well, now hearing what he said, I feel like when women say we don't need a man, it's related to money. I feel like we're referring it from a money perspective.
Of
We
course.
do need a man,
Absolutely.
you know? So I feel like to say that, you know, like I feel like they may take it wrong, but it's when we say it, it's because we're referring to money, but we do need a man. So
Absolutely.
I feel like women should say that less.
Mhm.
So
Like what he said, I respect that.
yeah.
Like don't show it by action. Don't say it.
I will 100% say that to any man's face because they really be out here
bold.
thinking that I need them, and I'm like, I don't. Like, do I want you? Yes. Do I believe that I need a man in my life to have my family and have more and more abundance and all of that? Absolutely. I think a man and a woman complement each other, and I do need a man in my life. We all women do. A man needs a woman and a woman needs a man, period. Or you need your partner, right? But do I feel like I can't live without you? Like, not necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Rod, you got anything to add to that?
I'm just trying to, piece everything together. It sounds like the ladies, I guess, they know what they want and what they need. So, I mean, I guess I would ask the question would be like, wherever you are in your life right now, like, what is the biggest thing you would say you would either need now to help you maybe lock down the man that you want? And I guess we can start over here.
Honestly, I would say, so for example, right now I am at a point in my life where I am trying to get my money up. I am really focused on my career. And the only thing that I've noticed, well, I just say that
Don't
for
do
now
me
because
like
I have to have
that.
something going for me. But what is it called? So I have my older brother and it's just me.
Okay.
I never had like younger siblings, and all of my family that I have here in the States are very, like, we come from a very small family. So I say all that to say that I've never really been around kids. I've never really been around the younger kids. So I never really had that experience of like taking care of kids and just being around kids in general. And I actually just got some news that my father is having a baby with his girlfriend. So that to me kind of like showed me that that's probably not what I need in my life right now, is to be able to start learning how to be a mom. And even though it's not my kid necessarily, but like I definitely feel like it's perfect for me.
Fuck them kids.
No.
No, for real. I don't want to have any kids anytime soon, but
You
I
just want to
definitely
learn how to be more nurturing.
right, exactly. Because I have it with, for example, in relationships, like I've definitely been able to do that, but just like family wise, especially because personally I do want to have a family at a young age. I do want to experience being a young mom, not too young, but like eventually I do want to have kids soon. So because of that, like I want to start having that experience of like being around kids and getting into the nitty gritty. And I feel like with my dad having a kid, it's going to be obviously my younger sibling. I'll have that like connection with this kid. So right now I definitely feel like I want to focus on that, like nurturing, like that part of my
That
womanhood.
part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you would say that just based on your father's the way he's kind of going towards his life, that kind of influenced your thinking.
Right.
Per se, right.
Right.
So then I think that's been most of the issues, if anything. Like they talk about how you guys kind of, well, not y'all per se, but in general, that most women are not involving the father or the brother or the uncle or these people that you're getting these influences from. Why not allow them to help vet the guys that you want? And so what's happened is that y'all have been empowered to pretty much make all the decisions, and we finding out over the last 20, 30, 50 years now that it just simply doesn't work. So why not turn a leaf? Why not, like, a small percentage of women take a leaf and say, hey, look, I look at this man and I think that he's a viable candidate. How about I actually have people that influence me when it comes to my dad or my uncle or brother help vet this person for me? And that way that they can help guide you down the right path so that it can be more successful. So it's just something, food for thought, just something to think about, because like they said, they're not trying to smash you. They're not trying to, those guys actually have your best interest. So yeah. What about you? You remember the question?
The question was, what do I need?
Right. Like at this point in your life, you kind of you're confident, like where you are in your life, what are some of the things I would say you lack, far as like getting that man, like, or if you want a relationship, or if you're trying to get to that point, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go with, obviously people like, I feel like it shouldn't be said like financially, but I'm gonna go with
Everyone leads with that.
respect and loyalty.
Okay.
Wait,
All right.
you said you need that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So out of the guy that approaches you, at this point, that's what you're pretty much looking for. Is that?
Yes,
is
I
that
want
loyalty?
Respect and loyalty.
All right.
I got a
It's
question
very
about
ambiguous,
that.
but
Go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
Earlier, you said that you have a problem with cheating on your man. So if you have a constant problem of cheating on others, but you're wanting respect and loyalty, when you say you're kind of like asking for something you're not willing to commit to on your end, based off of your recent past and what you mentioned earlier.
Right. So the key word you just said was past. My last serious relationship was a man. I was probably like 22, 23. And that's how it ended. I'm 28 now. So I'm growing up. My next serious relationship that I want with a man, I'm going to reciprocate the same energy. If I get respect and loyalty, then I'm going to give you respect and loyalty. And people grow as humans.
All right. Well, we'll leave that to her. Come back to us. Let us know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I just want someone who sees me, because I'm not a person who just like talks about all my problems.
Yeah, you're very soft spoken.
I don't I don't expect you to just know, but I just need you to be able to see, well, you doing all this, you got all of that going on. I see you. Let me do this for you. You get what I'm
Oh,
saying?
like an assistant. Like you want to assist your man. So you're at this point in your life where you can add value to his life.
Definitely.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, that's a winner right there. Like that's what we're looking for, to be honest.
And I want someone who can reciprocate that with me too. So
okay, cool. What about you?
So I'm actually in a relationship, and
okay, cool.
what I was looking for was someone that could. I believe a man should lead a woman, right? So, like I said earlier, I don't need you financially, but I do look for someone, and the person I have right now is this person that leads me in other ways. He's taught me a lot. He's led me business wise. He has his own business. I have mine. He's taught me a bunch of stuff. We like meditate together and different things like that, grow together. And that's the most important part to me in finding a partner, is someone that can lead and teach. I believe that's very much what a man should be doing for his woman as well as his children. And then, like she said, the woman always supports. So like I don't complain when my man gets home at almost midnight because he's been working, type of thing. And he has really appreciated that because he has had the issue in the past. But having someone that understands a balance of life, and he's got to work, I've got to work, he understands whenever I have to go out of town, and just that support of one another is the most important thing for me.
All right. Well, this is live, so when y'all get a chance, come back. Come back to this video and see where you want to go to where you was at now, and see what improved between that time now and then. So, it was nice talking to you, ladies.
Something to say.
Oh no! I mean, I was agreeing with what you said.
Okay.
I want a man to lead me.
She's doing it right, y'all. So y'all might need to listen to her.
That's a good panel, huh, bro?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a really
Let me
good.
get my man back on here.
Bunch of relationship girls.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rod.
Absolutely.
You looking sharp with that jacket.
Yeah, man. Hey, you got to, man. That's what I'm saying. You gotta look good.
Let's hit these super chats real quick too.
Yeah. I'll do the super chats really quick, guys. $5 from Ombre. Like the video, one of these girls will date you. I don't know. They're all catches. I don't think they're gonna date the losers. I'm just kidding. Y'all ain't losers. I love y'all. $5 from Ombre. Question for Rod. What's his prediction for the Dallas Cowboys season next year? What about the Eagles? Rod, what's the prediction?
Look, man, listen. At the end of the day, like, we're in the off season, but the Eagles will definitely win the division again. It's gonna be a neck and neck between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's my 2 cents.
I kind of agree with you on that one. What's the next one? $2 from Ombre. Again, like the video, or JR will come find you. He will. He has all the abilities to find people. Ladies, one of the last things I like to ask usually is like, what's something that really bothers you about the dating marketplace today? I want to try to like help y'all with a solution if there's something that's like really bothering you. I mean, you're already in a relationship, so I mean, if you have a relationship issue, but I'm guessing you are doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing good, but I still can speak on this just because our relationship is semi-new. I think one of the biggest problems with the dating pool and the way that relationships work right now is people don't take time to actually get to know someone. They don't really take the time to get in depth, and especially I agree with you. Like online dating, finding someone on Instagram is always a red flag for me.
Mhm.
It's always a no. I did it, of course, whenever I was younger because, you don't know better than you learn. I have
Path of
never.
least resistance. Yeah.
Right. I think it's best to do it organically. And that's so hard. It's so hard for people to talk to each other in person these days. And I think that's an issue.
Yeah, I'm just happy we have a table of young women that are doing that. Like, that's really cool that all y'all have that same mentality. What about you? What's something that really bothers you about the dating marketplace today, you think?
Um, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of men rush women into relationships. Like I'm more of a like a slow dater. I want to get to know you, and like guys, they rush into it. Like you may tell them I want to take my time, and they'll be okay with it. But like 2 weeks later, they really showing their true intentions, and it's mainly they want sex, and yeah.
So you're trying to, you're saying more like you would like to make these guys wait and they're just not wanting to wait right now?
Yeah, and it's not even that. Like I just really have to like you to have sex with
Yeah,
you,
I
and
mean, you said your body count was one, right?
yeah, like I like the connection got to be
And you
there.
tell
Like
all these guys that too, right?
no,
Like, you're like,
I don't tell them what my body count is. I just make it known that look, we not finna have sex no time soon. You
I
know.
honestly, I would fucking lead with that foot. And the reason why is because the
Mm.
guys, there's a lot of guys that are like, oh, I'm gonna stop talking to her right now because that means that like he's just trying to get pussy or something like that. So
No,
he's
but let
like,
me say this because it's not that I just jump into that. It's like they make the initiative to do it, and then that's when I have to say like we not finna do that. You know.
yeah.
So yeah.
It's just I always believe it's good to communicate all these type of things on like a first date. Like, I'm very big about being honest on a first date. Like, there's a lot of guys that just lie, or like they're not focused, they're not telling. Like, you should be able to ask questions and not exactly ask specifically, but get an idea of what you want. Like,
Mm.
you can ask a question on a date like, what industry do you work in? Like, what do you do for work? And from that you can figure out his income with Google and stuff.
Mhm.
You could you don't directly have to ask, does he have his 401k and his savings and everything. You can ask an indirect question like, do you max out your 401k? If he says, yeah, I max it out fully, then that says something about him, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of guys that don't even do their contribution match with their business or their company. So you have to learn how to ask these questions without coming off as somebody that's like a gold digger or something, but asking it like play chess, not
Yeah.
checkers, or play chess, not checkers with your questions, so you can get around to those answers that you really want to know.
Mhm.
But I always like to say though, like, if like I would make it clear with somebody really early, like, that you have that one body count, because I'm telling you, there's certain guys that are going to see that and they're gonna fucking put you on a pedestal. They're gonna take care of you like how you really want to be taken care of. And there's some guys that are gonna hear that and they're gonna, okay, I'm leaving because I'm not gonna wait a month to have sex, or I'm not gonna fucking do anything, like, or they're like, oh, she's a prude because she doesn't do, she must be the biggest prude ever. And trust me, if a guy feels that way or anything, fucking let him go. That's a biggest red flag. Like, let them. He just showed his cards. Let him show his
Mhm.
cards. Like, the thing is, you got a really good set of cards. Fucking show them. Like, I'm telling you, you could lock down on a fuck. You know how many guys, like we're talking about. You know how many guys really give a fuck about body count right now, especially really successful guys that like want their name given to a woman that's gonna fucking love and respect them and really be a good wife, a good nurturing woman, a
Mhm.
woman that's gonna like really love and care for her kids. Nurturing is so big to us. And like, if he knows that you haven't slept around, you don't have a bunch of trauma and damage from relationships and other things, like, guys, like, scars on a guy are sexy. Experience on a guy is sexy. Experience on a woman just isn't, sadly. It's just
Mhm.
not. Like, scars on women just isn't. It's not sexy.
Yeah.
It's never been that way for all
Mhm.
of history. So you look so pristine and perfect. Take fucking advantage of that shit, man.
I
I would
got you.
fucking take full advantage. What about you? What's something that's really bothering you about the dating marketplace right now?
This is why, like, I specifically don't like dating guys my age. People have egos these
Ooh,
days.
yeah.
If I'm gonna come to you, we're going on a date. We're gonna try to get to know each other, and then that's another thing. I want to get to know you. I'm the type of person, like, I can't just if I meet somebody like organically and we decide to go on a date a couple days later or something like that, I'd rather known a person for like a good 2-3 years before we ever decide to be in a relationship. Like, but whether it's friends or anything like that, I can't just like people do have like 4 or 5 relationships a year. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Like,
yeah, that's super weird.
For even to me to be attracted to want to have sex with you and go there with you, like, I have to get to know you.
Or demisexual, like what you're talking about. Yeah, but I can't really give you enough solutions to any of that. It's just really hard out here. Like you got to pick really hard. What about you though? What's bothering you about the dating marketplace?
For me, I guess it would kind of go based off of what she said a little bit because, and I know I keep saying this, but like I am very focused on myself right now, and I feel like I say that, and a lot of people just don't believe me for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because, and I don't mean this in a cocky way, I don't know if they just think, oh, she's pretty, she has hoes for sure. But like I genuinely like, especially from my experience from being in relationships for so long, like I've never been alone. Like I struggled with that right out of my relationship was I could not be alone. Like I had to constantly be on FaceTime with my best friend. We would literally be sitting there in silence. Like I noticed it and I started to take my time to be alone. And so like now, of course, like I'll do it respectfully where I'll reject guys and they'll be like nice, handsome, like they'll be really nice guys. And I find myself still not wanting to pursue something with them just because right now in this very moment, like I don't want to be in a relationship. Why? Because I know that there's a lot of things that I need to work on right now. And why am I going to sit here and expect for my dream man to walk through the door and I'm not even ready for him, you know?
Yeah.
So I will say that's kind of been my struggle lately is where I'm trying to let people know that like, hey, like, you know, you seem like a great guy. I'm not interested right now. I'm not looking for that. But like, a lot of guys are just very pushy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like my only problem is like, are we as women not allowed? Like, yes, I want to eventually find my man, start my family at a, you know, young age and stuff. But like prior, like before that, I want to prepare myself for that. You know, I want to make sure that my womanhood is in check. I want to make sure that I can provide for this man when he comes around. And I don't think, at least for me, like casually dating, I tried it and yeah, it was fun getting to know people. That way, at least I knew kind of like what my type
what you
was.
like is. Yeah.
Right, because like I wasn't dating, I was in a relationship. So for me, like that was my type, was my man.
Yeah.
And now that I'm single, I'm like, okay, maybe that's not my type anymore. Maybe I do want a more assertive, good man that's like gonna take care of me and stuff like that. So that's my problem is just like letting people know that I'm just not interested and them just not believing me. Like I can't take my time to be single right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it forever, but
one like this is gonna drive some guys crazy whenever you tell them that you're not in serious relationships or like you're actually going through like a phase where you're just being by yourself and stuff. It's fucking attractive to some of those guys, especially if like they're talking to a million girls that are just hoeing around and like, you know, aren't taking them seriously.
I want to ask this, like, which I know you're probably gonna say, which everybody says, just be straight up, which I do, but like, for example, I want to say I've come across 2 guys so far that I think are very like I can see myself being in a relationship with them, but going back to what I said, like I just no matter how much I can see myself with them, just because I know right in this moment I'm not really ready for that. Even though I'll say that, they'll just kind of stick around, and I'm just like.
Here's the thing. Relationship
No.
people, I truly believe true relationship people, people that are good in relationships. They're very good at being complimentary. They're very good at, you know, serving or something like that, because relationships are constant serving. Me and my girlfriend are constantly serving each other to the point where we don't even have to ask questions anymore. We just know what the other person always wants. And so like, I truly believe that, you know, good relationship people end up in relationships. If you're around guys, like, I just don't think that those guys are actually like, you might see a lot of green flags or a lot of good things, but honestly, if they were really good guys, they would already got snatched up in the last 2 months or like however long it's been, you know?
Well, that's what I only said 2. But like, here's my other thing too, is that like, for example, me, honestly, I don't really believe in guy friends. Like that's just how I think about it. Coming from like my last relationship, he definitely
y'all shouldn't have guy friends.
Like of course I have.
But even though I teach guys to be friends with girls, but I here's an example of it though. I have tons. Like my entire friend group is nothing but women. But they're all my associates. I don't hang out. I don't go to brunch with them on the weekend. Like it's just if I break up with my girl, I'm hanging back out with my girls again. Like that's it. It's that simple.
And then too, like,
huh? You don't like that? I don't spend any time with any of them. I don't message any of them unless they're modeling for me to like do something that's a modeling gig or something. I don't spend any time with them. The thing is, once again, it just made me look, you know, like my girlfriend, like the only reason why I'm attracted to her is because she saw me with all these women, and I was introduced from them to her. Like,
Yeah.
some of the most pretty girls that you'll ever meet, you ask them, how did you meet your boyfriend? And it's usually, oh, it was through my girlfriend. It was through like my home group, or through my homegirl, my group of friends. So like the really pretty girls, they don't use online dating. Like, why do you don't have to use online dating if you're a pretty girl? You meet through a network, or social, or some way. So that's why guys need to be around more women, is because that's how you'll have opportunities to meet other women. But I don't think that it's right though. Like, I don't like I teach that, but like for a woman, I don't think that you should have a bunch of guy friends and
Right.
choose that over your relationships.
See, and then
like, that's never.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, you're good.
Where I like, I guess, just also kind of go back and forth with myself is, I grew up with I only have one brother. I don't have any sisters. Like, honestly, like, I grew up with primarily males. Like, I grew up with a lot of guys. Growing up, I kind of lived in Mexico for a little bit, and all of my cousins were there, which were guys and stuff. So growing up, like, I genuinely just get along more with guys. And honestly, like, I'm into a lot of guy stuff. I'm into cars. So I just get along with them a lot more. But I still don't believe in like having them as friends. They're just more of like, we see each other, we
Y'all are
hang out
associates.
right.
It's associates. That's truly how I see it.
That's where it gets annoying. Where if a guy's interested in me and I like tell him no,
he's a
whatever,
beta
I'm not interested,
orbiter. Yeah, you don't want
tries to
beta
be a
orbiters.
friend, and I'm like, that's not gonna work either. He's like, no, you don't see him as a friend. So I guess
Yeah, beta orbiters are the worst though. Yeah, you don't want a guy that's your friend and because he's trying to get the pussy one day. If you're gonna be friends with a guy, make sure it's the guy. There's fucking 1 in 100 that are like this, that are like me, where they're truly like your friend. Like, they literally don't want to fuck you.
See,
You know,
but I've
it's
had
very
that,
rare.
and it bit me right back in my ass. That's why I'm like, I'd rather just not.
Why? How did it bite you in the ass?
Because so there was this guy that was interested in me. I'm so sorry. There was this guy that was interested in me, and personally, like, I was not attracted to him whatsoever. Like, physically, that's something important, at least for me. I have to be physically attracted to you, and I was not physically attracted to this man. But we went to school together. Like, we were friends from middle school up until high school. Like, we were really good friends. And then eventually, once he told me he was interested in me, I was like, I'm not. And we settled to be friends, and it was good for a while. But then once he made his advances once again, I turned him down again, and then he threw it all in my face and was like, well, then why'd you leave me on? Why'd you settle for
if a guy ever says so, this is the problem, is that like he can't change his mind. The thing is, like, he needs from day one to be your friend. Any guy that is ever interested in you and then tries to be your friend,
and then eventually
don't ever trust a man if he says, I'm pursuing you, I really like you, and you reject him, and he's like, it's fine, we could just be friends. He's staying beta orbiter for just in case you might change your mind one day. Yeah. Do not trust those fucking guys. Do not trust those fucking guys. They are the worst, and those people are the worst kinds of people too. Because they can't even fucking be honest about fucking how they really feel and shit.
Yeah, it made me feel really shitty because I'm like, I didn't lead you on. Like, he threw it all in my face, and I was like, well,
no, that's
why
like,
I don't have guy friends.
That's just an example of why it's so hard for women to just even fucking be friends with guys.
And then too, like, to add on to what you said earlier, you're young. Like, you're in a phase that I'm coming out of. Like, I had to take time to get to know myself without anyone else. Right. So I feel like that's what you need to do, because like, seems like to me like your whole life, well, not your whole life, but most of your, teenage years, all you knew is relationships. Yes. So you really need to take the time out to
Which is
just
why I'm
really
so
get
like
to know
guarded
yourself.
of it. And the only thing that I don't want to do is become so guarded and become so used to being alone, because I know that can happen with a lot of people, is that they just get so locked into their own little world that eventually when they're should be ready to start like getting to know people, they're kind of like so used to it, they kind of like push people away. I don't want to get to that point, but
we got to be super careful about habits, because today more than ever it's so easy to do the path of least resistance. It's so easy to sit at home on the couch. It's so easy to sit there and swipe on your phone, the dopamine addictions. It's so easy to get into that mentality of, I can stay single forever because there's options everywhere. Like, there's no like why do I gotta rush this? There's millions of men out here. I'm getting DM'd. I don't even have these bikini pics up, and I'm still getting this number of DMs every day. I don't need to rush this. I don't need to worry. But the reality is, like I told you, since there's so few actually good men, and technically for it to work correctly, you kind of do got to chase that guy. So because of all that, you can't waste too much time. You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't think you should rush into anything ever. But don't waste too much time.
I see what you mean by that, because at least now, like, I have my own routine, and I guess that's why I get kind of a little scared to get too used to me being alone, because I've noticed that now that I'm alone, I'm like so guarded over it. I literally wake up, and I'm a nail tech, so I work from home. I stay home all day. Like the second I'm done working, I go to the gym, come back home, make dinner, and I'm going to sleep. So like I have that routine set already. And like on the days that I do have time to go out, well, I choose to go out with my best friend. I choose to go do those things. But I definitely do find myself like where I want to go out and like I want to meet people, but
I would just vet really hard. So like I always tell people, or like the guys, we have to talk to 10,000 girls to find our unicorn, our one girl that's not shit and actually has burning genuine desire for us, like really loves us, really respects us. Stuff. It's a 1 in 10,000 chance, especially today because people ain't shit, and the good people are taken. They're in relationships. So and for y'all, what I truly believe is women have to filter 10,000 guys. Y'all have to filter 10,000. So that means like shit, there's so many ways to filter guys based off of height, based off of income. There's so many ways, but you have to filter a fuck ton of men to find your one unicorn, your guy that's not gonna be shit, but also still respect and love you. But also just remember, like the baggage thing I was saying, I mean, matching baggage. So like if you have baggage, just be prepared to find somebody with matching baggage. Don't sit there and think you're perfect and only search for perfection when you're not perfect, which is what a lot of people are doing. Like I'll say all day long, I'm not gonna do it tonight, but usually I like to do numbers based off of relationships. And I'll say all day long, I'm average. I'm a 4 or a 5 in a relationship. I'm average. And on some days, I'm a fucking 9. I'm a really good boyfriend. And some days, I'm a fucking 1. I'm a horrible boyfriend. Life is a roller coaster. It's never the same. So everybody has to accept that can't have this ego that we're amazing at relationships and we're the best, because that's how you'll never find anybody. We're going to kind of get to the last point tonight. I'm going to change it up a little bit and do something I haven't done before. I just want to know, did y'all learn anything from tonight? Is there anything that you learned that you feel like really resonated with you? Do you think it's something that you're going to be able to take back and maybe help you in your dating life, or just something that you think other people should know about, just so I know to like repeat it on the next shows to help more people, you know? What do you think? Was there something that you learned tonight?
Specifically, I don't know, but I think just like overall like another perspective of like someone that's like honest about a male perspective for sure. Cause I feel like a lot of guys are not necessarily.
They're lying, yeah.
And just kind of like putting it out there point blank, I think is always good. And then also like hearing other women's perspective, and then, yeah, just kind of learning overall.
Just how everybody's lives are a little different.
Yeah.
Would you come back on the show?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you have any single girlfriends that you could bring back so I can, fix their singleness maybe?
Oh, single girl? I actually
Yeah.
don't think I have any single girlfriends.
Oh.
Most of my girlfriends are in relationships.
And as a girl in a relationship, that's good.
Yeah.
You don't want single girls because, what's the term they always say? Loneliness needs or misery needs company.
Oh, absolutely.
So like, yeah, you don't want to be friends with a bunch of miserable single girls because they'll drag you down into their misery. What about you though? What was the question I asked? What it was? Did you learn anything from the night? Yeah, that's a new question.
I learned a lot, like, because I really don't have a lot of conversations with people about topics like this, so it definitely opened me up to some things. And you also gave me a tip on, when it comes to dating. So
yeah, you're a prize. You should definitely like flex on it. Just being honest, like you could lock down a fucking amazing guy. You really could. Age is a big deal, right? Especially right now. It used to not be like this fucking 10, 20 years ago. A lot of people were pairing up with people same age and like low body counts and stuff. But today with social media and how everything is, dude, there's guys that are super prized because they're 6 foot tall with big dicks and making $200,000 a year. And then there's some women that are super prized because they're very traditional. So yeah, take advantage of what you have, your benefits. What's something that you learned about tonight? Oh, wait. Would you come back on the show?
I definitely would.
Yeah? Awesome. And then would you bring a single friend if you have any?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. What about you, though? What's something that you learned tonight?
You'll make me realize something, because I do have a lot of guy friends. And they, like, I could see that.
Some of them.
I know they want to do that.
Yeah.
Sexually, so.
Yeah. No, now you know the truth. Motherfuckers. Would you come back again?
Yes, I would come back.
Thank you for coming again, though. No, I really always want you to come back because you bring that that perspective from your job and stuff. That experience that a lot of women don't get to experience or see how certain men are and stuff. And like, I love having you here because you could show us that fucking simp perspective that you see every day in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, no, thank you. And if you want to bring a girlfriend next time, you're more than welcome to also.
By the way, those beta orbiters that are sitting in the friend zone, they're the reason why the game is fucked up in the first place.
Oh yeah, honestly, ladies, I don't even blame so so there's two things that kind of get blamed a lot. It's like the women opening their legs because if they do, then the men are shit because there's no incentive for them to be good men if they get sex easily, you know. So it's like shame on those women, but man, also shame on the men too because they just ain't shit. Like they really ain't shit today.
You have to value your dick.
Yes. I mean, it just depends how
Dick just
valuable
went.
of a guy.
Shout out to the great Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin Samuels.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. What about you? What's something that you learned tonight?
I learned a lot of things. I definitely came with a very open mind regardless. So I learned a lot. I will say it's probably take me a minute to go home and like probably think about everything. But definitely touched my heart knowing that there's still good women out here. I'm not gonna lie, like that was like the one thing that I was kind of a little bit skeptical of. I was like, I really hope that I don't go on this panel and then like there's just a bunch of girls that don't know what they're talking about because we've all seen those Fresh and Fit podcasts, but I'm really glad that like
Shout
I
out to
could
FNF.
learn. I'm really glad that I could learn from every girl here.
Oh, that's something that I love about my show so much is that I want, like, they don't give a fuck about teaching the girls that shit. Like, they do locker room talk over there, and they don't care, like, how you feel or anything. But I really want y'all to learn this stuff. Like, I truly believe.
That's why I'm grateful for it. Because you definitely, like, I can see myself, like, learning these things. And
instead of just being triggered and saying fuck that shit forever.
Right, because there are some girls that just like they're just so in their own head, like they won't even take the advice, they won't be open minded to it, and it's almost annoying because it's like just listen.
Well, if you get triggered, it's really hard to listen when you're triggered. Right. So I get it somewhat, and that's why I started this. Like I truly believe that y'all need this info just like the men do. The men need it to get better. You know, to become the best man that they can be, to become that top 10% man so they can be respected like they want. And the women need to know this so they can not waste their time and end up fucking a cat lady at 40 years old and, you know, sad that they're not going to have the family and all the crazy shit that women kind of like, if you look at statistics, what makes them happy in later life, you know? So this is all for y'all. I do this all for y'all because I want y'all to learn as much as y'all can. If you ever want to bring a single friend back or anything, please do it. I really appreciate you for coming. All of y'all. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I brought this up to him earlier because once I realized how old you were, I was like, she doesn't have that much experience. What is she going to be able to talk about?
Yeah.
But I could tell, like, you have took in a lot.
Yeah, I definitely sat back to listen to a lot of things because, like, I do my own kind of research, I guess you could say, but, like, it's different when it comes from an actual human being. But then, like, that's right in front of you.
You did prove me wrong. Like, you do have some.
Thank you. Yeah, I learned a lot of things from everybody here.
Oh, yeah. 6 years and 2 relationships is a big deal. If y'all want to know where a lot of these stats come from, there's a book called The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss. He is a professor down in Austin, Texas, and for UT. He's one of the most amazing evolutionary biologists, scientists, you know, in the fucking world. He's fucking amazing. But yeah, definitely check out that book. Also, Rollo Tomasi, The Rational Male, if y'all want to learn more about men and how men see things. He wrote The Rational Male, really good fucking book. But yeah, check those out. I would love to see y'all back on the show again. All of y'all are really good. I just like it, like what you said, when there's not a bunch of yelling, like no,
right.
Like we all yes, we're all here to learn, discuss, and yeah, amazing panel, ladies. Like I really appreciate y'all for coming. I got one super chat I need to read real quick. Yeah, one super chat from Michael Beatruck, best mod on YouTube. Thank you, bro, for the $1. You made it hell on us, man. I appreciate you with them pennies. All right, well, thank y'all all so much for coming. We will see y'all on Wednesday. I got a really fucking special episode on Wednesday. We got a lady coming in that's really big in Texas. She's really big on Instagram and TikTok, guys. So y'all got to come check this out. We're in Dallas, Rico. But yeah, this lady that's coming in on Wednesday, she's dope. It's gonna be the first time we're doing a panel on a Wednesday show, guys. So please come, show up. Y'all got to push me through this algo. I'm telling you, YouTube's really fucking blocking me right now. Y'all have to share this. Y'all got to comment. Y'all got to like the video. Push this shit out as much as you can because they don't want me fucking really ruining their money flow, man. They don't want it. So please get me out there so we can prove to people what the fuck is really going on, how they want y'all single so they can make more money off y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. We will see y'all on Wednesday, though. Peace the fuck out.
What? Toodaloo, motherfucker. Wait.